Countless pairs of dragon eyes were worn simultaneously. The majority of people did not have the privilege to witness the Miao realm of the Heavenly King realm, but within the dragon eye, there was information being passed from the Qianlong headquarters forum. Lin Zaiasu crossed the 29th level and stepped into the 30th level. He became the 83rd person in the history of Qianlong to step into the Heavenly King realm. To enter the Heavenly King realm with true ability, what an astonishing person, someone shouted. Where are the people from the review group that day? Come out and say something. Why was such a genius rejected from entering Qianlong back then? Within the 18 strategy department, 2 officials with real power have been proven to be traitors. It must be their doing. The 2 officials with real power were not from the review group. An investigation is needed. Who in the review group received their orders, making Qianlong miss out on a heavenly pride? For a time, the forum was turbulent. Lin Zaiasu had just stepped into the Heavenly King realm, yet the boundless waves he stirred had already topped the charts of the Qianlong headquarters forum. Headquarters forum, the highest level of the forum, only those from the headquarters could browse and comment. These comments will eventually draw the attention of the highest level. There are signs showing that the bomb planted by the review group long ago finally exploded today. They will face a trust crisis for their rash rejection back then. A trace of Miao Yin Heavenly King's voice softly drilled into Blue Demon's ear. Is this your second purpose? To vent for him, to bring the review group into the limelight? Blue Demon glanced over, and there was some complexity in her eyes. She offered no explanation, because this explanation was very taboo. Yes, she urged Lin Zaiasu into the 33 towers. Besides the previously mentioned intention to increase Lin Zaiasu's stakes, there was also this purpose, which was to use the power of the public at the headquarters to force the review group. Yesterday's 3 hearings uncovered 26 traitors, but they didn't involve the review group. But does this prove the review group is innocent? Probably not. Who exactly stopped Lin Zaiasu from entering Qianlong at that time? And under whose command? Even if the one giving the orders was the second strategy department. Among the old folks in the review group, there must be some with personal interests. The review group's procedures prioritize confidentiality. Even as a Heavenly King, she couldn't check the review records of that day. But once the questioning arises, the higher-ups naturally have to clarify. This is firing at the higher-ups. This is questioning the higher-ups. This is a taboo for Qianlong members. But what Blue Demon was about to do inevitably had a way to be done. She got Lin Zaiasu into the 33 towers as the direct planner. However, this plan wasn't her handiwork. This plan originated from Qianlong's first planner, Bai Shui. Lin Zaiasu didn't know that going up the 33 towers would involve so much controversy. He only focused on one thing, what the Heavenly King realm would have. Under the hollow projection in the Heavenly King realm, it felt like a grand Jianghu blockbuster. Blue sky and white clouds, a great river flowing east, peaks like sword shaves, a bridge connecting north and south. This was an ancient stone bridge. On the stone bridge, a person slowly lifted his head. In his hand, a long sword rusty. His gaze, however, was brighter than a freshly forged sharp blade. The hem of his clothes, fluttering in the wind, held some kind of profound mystery. Lin Zaiasu stood beside a big tree, quietly watching this projection. Suddenly, he turned his hand and broke off a branch from the tree beside him. In the outside world, only those with level 3 authority or higher could see this scene through the dragon eye. Blue Demon was tense. He is very cautious. Miao Yin Heavenly King was also tense. The eyes of a swordsman can see the opponent's sword Dao. Blue Demon licked her lips. This swordsman on the cultivation path is a standard peeping heaven master. Currently, only 8 people can get past it. If he gets past it, speaking purely of skill, he will officially stand over our heads. Miao Yin Heavenly King smiled lightly. Do you hope he gets past it or not? Both of them did not get past this swordsman's barrier. So they could only step onto the 30th level and not go further. Although they didn't get past, their paths themselves were not direct confrontations. Blue Demon's path was transformation technique. Miao Yin's path was subsonic technique, a defeat with honor. However, being a Heavenly King, there is always pride. Any Heavenly King would not be very pleased being trampled over their heads. Yet Blue Demon laughed. Actually, I knew long ago in terms of combat power he is above me, being surpassed by him. I have no resistance at all. Instead, I am very much looking forward to it. Miao Yin Heavenly King stared at her in a daze. What does it mean to say being surpassed by him makes you look forward to it? This sentence, why do I interpret it with some gossip? Am I too sensitive? Or are you too insensitive? On the other side, Heavenly King Zhu Feng became serious. I overlooked one thing in the lower 3 levels, he actually did not use a weapon all along. Jing Lei smiled lightly. In the hollow projection, with a temporary wooden sword made of wood, we can finally appreciate the amazing sword Dao that Blood Trace mentioned. Do you think he can break through? I don't doubt whether he can break through. I am only concerned about how many moves it would take and with what kind of swordsmanship, Jing Lei said. Lin Ziasu tilted his hand, the edge of his palm like a knife, cutting away the leaves, turning the branch in his hand into a sword. Wooden sword. His gaze lifted, and he saw the swordsman on the bridge take a step forward. This step shattered the stone bridge into pieces. In midair, one sword strikes down from above. With this strike, the canopy of the large tree behind Lin Ziasu was directly flattened, with countless leaves mixed with omnipresent sword chi, descending from the sky. Not bad, observing heaven, Lin Ziasu uttered 4 words. A faint flash of light, and a sword beam emitted from his hand. This sword was incomparably sharp. Yes, it lacked any semblance of dominance. At least, it was far less imposing than the aura of this swordsman's sword Dao. It was only sharp. Aside from its sharpness, it had nothing else. Slice. The sharp sword beam swept past the swordsman, vanishing into the void. The swordsman in midair was split into 2. Blood scattered through the sky, accompanied by leaves falling like a storm. Amidst the blood rain, Lin Ziasu stepped over the battlefield, standing beside the broken bridge, the wind blowing, blood staining his clothes. One sword, Blue Demon and Miao Yin Heavenly King clasped their hands abruptly. Their gazes intertwined, witnessing the surprise and excitement in each other's eyes. On the other side, Heavenly King Zhu Feng's eyes widened suddenly. One sword, so sharp, so exposed, entering the Heavenly King realm, he's truly revealed his power. Prior to this, Lin Ziasu had been very restrained throughout all challenges. Even when facing little Kalami of the observing human realm, he observed his opponent's moves and exchanged a few bouts. But upon entering the Heavenly King realm, facing opponents of significantly elevated ranks, peeping heaven masters, he instead slashed the enemy with one sword. In the 33 towers there's a rule: below 30 floors Dragon Eye can observe, above 30 floors only level 3 authority is eligible to watch. Jing Lei revealed a slight smile. In front of the lower tier people he's restrained, but among the upper tier he's sharp and exposed. This kid is truly unconventional in his moves. Typically, individuals are extremely formidable before those of the lower tier. Before the upper tier individuals, they are extremely humble. Yet he, on the contrary, in front of lower tier people, he's very humble. Before upper tier individuals, he's extremely formidable. He desires the ordinary people to feel indifferent towards him, yet wants those above the Heavenly King to sense his power. The scene before Lin Ziasu shifts. It seems as if he stepped across a great river, arriving at the foot of a giant peak. On top of the giant peak, a thunderous roar, accompanied by an unparalleled towering figure. The person descends from the air, wielding a giant saber. One slash. Mighty beyond compare. Lin Ziasu's hair rose wildly. He truly felt the pressure. This trial, compared to the previous one, the Guardian's combat power again elevated significantly. The aerial figure's combat power had clearly reached the peeping heaven high realm. No wonder none of the 7 heavenly kings, including Blood Trace, were able to stand against him. Faced with such a strike, the most effective counter is to maneuver using movement technique. Yet Lin Ziasu defied convention. His hand rose, palm holding the wooden sword, as if supporting a massive mountain. Li Ren's swordsmanship's second form, severing emotion. Boom! Lin Ziasu flew high, blood and energy surging. Between him and the saber-wielding giant, dust flew up, and a deep ravine suddenly appeared beneath their feet. The giant roared loudly, the voice echoed in all directions, another slash. This slash, compared to the previous, was 3 times fiercer. Lin Ziasu met it with another sword in defense. Boom! Retreating another 30 meters. The third strike, retreat again. Blue Demon's eyes were wide open, knowing he cannot contend with the opponent's strength, yet neither dodging nor evading, insistent on a head-on collision, What kind of swordsmanship is this? We don't understand sword Dao, Miao Yin Heavenly King said. He likely knows that as long as he evades, the opponent's saber momentum would be continuous, guaranteeing defeat. This was the fundamental reason why the previous 7 Heavenly Kings failed. Facing an aerial strike, all 7 chose to avoid the edge. Yet this avoidance, the saber momentum continued without interruption. Following that, all 7 rolled on the ground, becoming increasingly passive, ultimately resulting in inevitable defeat. Only one person was an exception. That was Jing Lei, whose movement was swift as lightning. Others avoided merely to dodge, while his avoidance was to strike when the time was right, fighting hundreds of moves, culminating in a strike without a hint of warning, claiming the opponent's life, and becoming the only individual to ascend the 33 floors since the tower's establishment. As for Lin Zaiasu, he completely broke the norm of dueling. From the opening strike, he did not evade, but chose a direct collision. With this clash, he was directly knocked into an earth-tumbling roll. For over 10 consecutive clashes, he accumulated retreats totaling several hundred meters. Yet for the first time, serious concern entered Jing Lei's eyes. Good lad, so this is the style of combat. What? Heavenly King Zhu Feng beside him did not understand. He's practicing the rejuvenation system cultivation technique. The rejuvenation technique, when fully restored, surpasses all others in speed of true qi recovery. He's using endurance to wear down the opponent. Endurance? Heavenly King Zhu Feng was full of disbelief. In the holographic projection, each full-force attack expends energy at the rate of 1% to 1.5%, which is theoretically efficient. Realistically, few can achieve this. You mean to say, his rejuvenation technique under full power restoration in combat can surpass theoretical consumption rates? Observe carefully, make a comparison, Jing Lei said. Initially, each time he was struck back 20 to 30 meters. Now, each retreat is only a few meters. If nothing unexpected happens after 10 more moves, he could hold an even match with the opponent. Chapter 455. Chapter 455. 33 Towers, World Beyond the Heavens. Heavenly King Zhu Feng opened his eyes wide and stared. Boom! Another fierce clash. Lin Zaiasu fell back 5 meters and immediately charged again. The next strike. He retreated 3 meters. Yet another strike. Both he and the burly man each stepped back a step. A cold sweat broke out on Heavenly King Zhu Feng's back. Rejuvenation secret technique. Is this truly his formidable trump card? Trump cards vary from person to person, from time to time. When facing an equally matched opponent, the powerful recovery ability of the rejuvenation secret technique is the greatest trump card for victory. Jing Lei smiled slightly. 33rd level, it's time to welcome a newcomer. Heavenly King Zhu Feng's gaze landed on his face, with a hint of inquiry. Jing Lei added with a smile. High positions are lonely, this is something people say often, but how many can truly understand the taste of it? High positions are lonely. The 33rd level has always had only one person. And today, it should welcome a newcomer. Boom! Another big clash, the burly man was sent flying. In their fierce clash, Lin Zaiasu was sent flying over 30 times. This was the first time he repelled this burly man. Sizzle! An extremely sharp light swept across the burly man's neck. The second move of the Li Ren swordsmanship transformed into the first move, separation. With one sword, he severed the burly man's neck, ending the guard battle. With a cracking sound, all the sensors on his body shattered into pieces. The holographic projection disappeared. He vanished from the dragon eye of the big shots with level 3 authority. He cleared all the checkpoints and stood on the 33rd level of the tower. Without the myriad wonderful realms created by holographic projections, there was only an ordinary floor, the real rooftop of the 33 towers. All around were the real scenes of the Qianlong headquarters. As the mountain wind blew, his hair flew up. Lin Zaiasu looked at the road he came from with a thoughtful eye. Blue Demon and Miao Yin hugged and jumped together. Should we prepare a celebration banquet? Blue Demon said. A small one. Of course. How small? Just you two celebrating, or should I be included? I don't care if you drink or not, but cooking is your job. Miao Yin Heavenly King exclaimed. Cook, I ka. You say it like I can. But what of it? Learn. There are plenty of Qianlong tutorials, even robots can learn, can't we? Blue Demon said. My God, although heavenly kings are becoming worthless, using them to cook is still too much. Miao Yin Heavenly King said. Why do I feel like you're a bride-to-be about to get married? Get lost, Blue Demon glared at her. Say it straight, are you going or not? Chief Long's office. The combat hologram in front of Chief Long disappeared. The fantastical scene returned to being cold and deep. Chief Long slowly stood up. Has the forum been followed? An old man in red walked out from the darkness in front. It has been followed. What do you think? The old man in red said. On the day the review group rejected his entry into Qianlong, the reasons laid out were indeed far-fetched. I personally think a look back is needed. No need to look back, Chief Long said. There are some things you can't see clearly even if you look back. The old man in red's eyes showed surprise. However, public opinion has already fermented. Without an explanation, it might be difficult to appease the people and will arouse many suspicions. Yes, the forum is now intensifying. With Lin Zaiasu breaking through all the checkpoints, it became increasingly uncontrollable. He broke through all the checkpoints, becoming the second person to step onto the 33rd level after Jing Lei. What does such a person signify? It means he is a super heavenly king class person, comparable to Jing Lei. And such a person was actually rejected by the review group. If not for his later trajectory largely aligning with Qianlong would have lost this super heavenly king. What exactly was the review group's intention? Was there anything fishy with the review group? The forum has reached a fever pitch. This has never happened on Qianlong Headquarters Forum. Qianlong Headquarters Forum is not a place where you can just register and speak freely. Those qualified to speak are all people from Qianlong Headquarters. Even the gold medal of outside divisions are not qualified to log in. Such people have discipline. How can they speak recklessly? However, in a place where you can't speak freely, a group of high-level personnel who don't speak freely, once they speak, they are well-reasoned and well-founded. They will never speak nonsense. Well-reasoned and well-founded judgment spreading in the small circle of Qianlong high-level. That's not a simple matter. There must be an explanation. Chief Long said calmly, I say no need to look back, we must look forward. Respect public opinion, face the issue directly. My suggestion is, all 7 members of the review group, suspend them all. The old man in red widened his eyes sharply. Suspend them all. Yes, suspend them all, Chief Long said. Form a new review group. You choose 21 people with a 3-to-1 ratio. Report them to me for review to determine the final 14 people. The old man in red took a deep breath. Merely because of a refusal to enter at that time, the entire group is to be disbanded. Chief Long, this is somewhat against the procedure. It turned out he was also suggesting handling it. But Chief Long's handling plan was 100 times heavier than he expected. Chief Long slowly lifted his gaze. Conventional wisdom has its steadiness, unconventional moves have their wonders. I will bear the procedural issues. Do as I said. Yes. Also, make arrangements for me to meet Lin Zaiasu. Yes. 33rd floor rooftop. Lin Zaiasu looked through the empty sky, staring at the distant mountains. Through this 33 tower, he seemed to feel the painstaking effort of the person who built the tower. Taoist Liu Yun, an old acquaintance of Liu Lin Temple. He knows the ancient wilderness is about to break the boundary, and he also knows the Earth core world is not content with the status quo. He told this to his second uncle. However, Li Layar is just an ordinary person. Telling him is no different than telling a wall. So he sought out the most powerful force in this world, Qianlong. He stayed at Qianlong 101 for a while, leaving behind a book called The Mountain and River Scripture, and also the sentiment, the demonic chaos outside the border, the natives uneasy in the Earth's core, and the ancient wilderness is about to break the barrier. Where will this generation of civilization ultimately go? That was just at 101, the periphery of Qianlong. In the end, he entered the Qianlong headquarters and built this 33 towers there. The first 10 floors, the mortal world, are for those who are either snipers or genetic people. The middle 10 floors are different. The middle 10 floors are the entry level for cultivators, observing human. Observing human, only a gold medal can counterbalance. The upper 10 floors, the observing earth realm, only the top 100 ranked gold medals are qualified to counterbalance. The top 2 floors, observing heaven realm, only heavenly kings can counterbalance. Though there are 33 floors, there are actually only 32. Because the 33rd floor has nothing. Based on the situation at the 32nd floor, the 33rd floor indeed should have nothing. Because the second gatekeeper at the 32nd floor has already reached the peeping heaven high realm, going further is observing heaven, but entering the giants of the enlightenment realm. In the great thousand world, enlightenment realm is not allowed to exist. So the 33rd floor is empty. Is this what Liu Yun wanted to tell the world? To tell the world that the highest combat power in this world is observing heaven. Using this method, to tell Qianlong about the hierarchy and combat power standards on the cultivation path. No, it definitely won't be that simple. Lin Ziyasu's heavenly Tao, wisdom eye activates. Suddenly, his heart began to pound fiercely. The previously empty 33rd floor in the northwest corner had array patterns. Lin Ziyasu stepped forward, arriving before the array patterns. His finger gently raised, touching a point where two array patterns converged. A faint tearing sound was heard. The array opened up. A whole new world appeared before him. His heart was pounding wildly. Currently, only he and Jing Lei had reached the 33rd floor. If Jing Lei didn't understand the array formations, if he couldn't see the array patterns, then this scene before him was seen by him alone. This was the true secret of the 33 towers. He lifted his gaze and saw countless streams of array light. The grand array depicted a spectacular scene. A beautiful vast grassland. A small river. Distant snowy mountains, their peaks covered in white snow. His heavenly Tao wisdom eye penetrated through, seeing a Taoist temple atop the snowy mountains, with 3 words above the temple, 3 realms. All of this was an array's shadow. It was not real, even though it looked very real. For example, a butterfly on the grassland danced lightheartedly, each trajectory perfectly synchronized with a living creature. Lin Ziyasu stared at this butterfly, and the more he looked, the more astonished he became. The butterfly fluttered towards him. His heartbeat sped up increasingly. Because he suddenly felt that, as the butterfly fluttered towards him, his true chi flow slowed down more and more, seeming as though a giant mountain in the air was toppling over, creating boundless pressure. This feeling had occurred before in Kun Kang. While facing the giants of the enlightenment realm, it was the same sensation. Now, just a light butterfly gave him that feeling. The butterfly was still 100 meters away. His blood tower stopped rotating. At 50 meters, a drop of sweat seeped out, hanging at his nose tip. At 20 meters, his whole body's bones creaked as if they were about to be crushed. Whoosh! The butterfly spread its wings, and Lin Ziyasu flew high and far, directly withdrawn from the array scene, crashing heavily onto the floor. Before Lin Ziyasu, the floor of the 33rd floor reappeared. Beneath him, the immensely thick concrete floor cracked a gap. His bones ached faintly and his heart was pounding crazily. Because he knew clearly. Within the array, there is both real and illusory. The great grassland is an array illusion, the snowy mountains are array illusions, and the Taoist temple is also an illusion. However, one thing isn't an illusion. It genuinely exists. It is alive. It is a butterfly. This butterfly emerged from the void, like a giant of the enlightenment realm. With a gentle flutter, he was sent flying 100 meters away without any resistance. Is this Liu Yun's true purpose in building the 33 towers? Leave a trump card for Qianlong headquarters. Compared to previous guesses, this guess might align more with common sense. Liu Yun has affection for this world. He knew that sooner or later, this world would face irresistible mighty forces. So he left such a trump card at the Qianlong headquarters. In case a giant of the enlightenment realm emerged, this butterfly could suppress him. If that is so, it fits the demeanor of Qianlong's stabilizing force. Otherwise, Qianlong would be too weak. This profound secret is evidently above what a heavenly king level can comprehend. Among the living, perhaps only one person could verify it for him, and that person is Chief Long. Lin Ziyasu descended from the 4th floor. As he walked down the stairs again, his vision transformed entirely. On each floor below there were people, some fighting, some escaping, shuttling back and forth in the open space, locked in mortal combat with the air. These were the various members of Qianlong. They wore sensors on them, fully immersed in the world created by holographic projections. Lin Ziyasu didn't disturb them, sidestepped and quickly descended, reaching the 1st floor in a flash, and exited the 33 towers. At the entrance, a young man in red awaited him. "Mr. Lin, Chief Long requests you." Chapter 456. Chapter 456. Chief Long summoned, meeting candidly. The flying car broke through the air, heading straight for the back mountain. At the top of the back mountain, there was a cave. Lin Zaiasu followed the man in red into the cave, where a heavy door silently opened, and an old man stood up from behind a table. This old man was around 50 or 60 years old, with graying hair. At first glance, he was just an ordinary retired old man. However, his eyes were as bright as autumn water. Although there was no genetic aura on him, nor any sense of true chi flow, Lin Zaiasu still sensed the unique grace and aura of someone in a high position. The heavy door closed behind them. The young man in red was nowhere to be seen. The old man approached him with a smile and extended his hand. "Chief Long." Lin Zaiasu extended his hand and shook the old man's hand. The old man smiled and said, "Sit." The two sat on the sofa in front. Chief Long reached out, picked up a kettle on the table, poured boiling water into 2 teacups on the table, and dropped tea leaves into the cups. The tea leaves stood straight up and slowly unfolded. "How was the view from the 33 towers?" Chief Long asked with a smile. "Pretty empty, the wind was strong, a bit cold." Lin Zaiasu accepted the tea offered to him and nodded slightly in thanks. "High places are cold, but one must also admit, only by standing on high can you see farther scenery," Chief Long said. Their questions and answers seemed like mere small talk, yet there was also a hint of mystery to them. They spoke of the scenery, but it wasn't just scenery, it was their life situation. Chief Long lifted the teacup and took a sip. "The headquarters forum exploded because of your tower ascent today." Exploded? Lin Zaiasu's heart stirred slightly. "You have level 3 authority, you can see for yourself." Lin Zaiasu extended his hand, the dragon eye in his hand, entering the headquarters forum where the posts were varied. 99% were voicing their dissatisfaction for him. In an instant, his heart surged. On that day, the review team's rejection of his entry into Qianlong has detonated this thunder in the headquarters forum today. The review team had 7 people at the time. "I've ordered for all 7 to be dismissed from all positions, thoroughly removed," said Chief Long. Lin Zaiasu's hand lightly trembled, and the dragon eye shifted away from his nose bridge. "Are you surprised?" "Yes," Chief Long said. "If this were just a response to public opinion, or if it were merely for your justice, you indeed should be surprised, but it's not." "Chief Long is setting a trap," Lin Zaiasu pondered. "Yes," Chief Long said. "I know someone among these 7 has a problem, but I'm unsure who. You must believe every chain of wrongdoing has empowerment. Power remaining means chains unbroken. Power gone, then clues show." Admiration. Lin Zaiasu raised his glass in salute. He understood Chief Long's intention. Chief Long removed these 7 not as a response to public concerns, nor was it to vent his anger, but a scheme. As he said, among these 7, there may be a mole, but it's uncertain who. So how to find the mole in such situations? The best way is to disrupt their comfort zone, their work status. Clear all the power they had. They suddenly withdrew from the power center. Those who have no ulterior motives will accept the status quo, fully demonstrating the public duty motto, "Revolution is like a brick, moved wherever needed." But for those with other intentions, they lost their support. They would be at a loss. People outside would ask them for intel, while their online contacts would demand returns, which they couldn't provide. Thus, they must develop new supports, and this development process would reveal their flaws. "About this matter, I need to thank you," Chief Long said. "Without yesterday's interrogation and the capture of 28 people, I wouldn't dare make this move." Indeed, Chief Long had wanted to make this move for a long time. But he didn't dare. Because this move must be based on a relatively clean situation. Before clearing Qianlong moles, this move would only alert the enemy. And yesterday, Lin Zaiasu single-handedly seized 28 moles, making Qianlong headquarters enter the cleanest era, allowing this move to be made. Lin Zaiasu laughed. "Speaking of thanks, I should really thank Chief Long." "Thank me for what?" "The over 10 million wedding fund I gave you little by little," Chief Long smiled. Cough. Lin Zaiasu scratched his head. "That's really not it, that's what I deserve." "Haha, you kid aren't pretentious," Chief Long said. "Then what do you thank me for?" "2 things. First, the red flag." Speaking of this, Lin Zaiasu gazed at Chief Long, confirming the matter about the red flag for the first time. Chief Long didn't deny it in the slightest. No need to thank for that. Qianlong's iron rules state that any person who makes great contributions to the country can apply for family protection. I understand the family protection, but you deployed the red flag. Chief Long laughed. The level of protection deployed doesn't depend on the identity of the protectee, but on the level of danger. Lin Zaiasu understood. Qianlong's iron rules are about protection. But the deployment level of protection depends on which danger level protection is needed to eliminate. Lin Zaiasu was a bit aggressive, offending the core interests of the nine-headed snake more than once. Whether it be the nine-headed snake or Utopia, the people sent against him weren't ordinary. The usual Qianlong gold medal couldn't handle such tasks, only the red flag could. So Chief Long deployed the red flag to protect his home in Fengcheng, and the detective agency, not because he is special, but because his opponents are special. Lin Zaiasu softly laughed. Secondly, you granted me level 3 authority, a testament of your trust which I ought to express my thanks for. The Chief Long smiled faintly. All you see is trust. Lin Zaiasu frowned slightly. What else? Recognition of past achievements. Clearly, past achievements are also worthy of recognition, but the core purpose of level 3 authority is not to affirm achievements. In fact, it's not just to display trust, it's focused on the future. The future. There's an old saying in the world, sincerity in exchange for sincerity, Chief Long said. With your level 3 authority, the gates of Qianlong are open to you. Thus, in the future, you should also be candid with Qianlong. Understood. Lin Zaiasu truly understood. Understood what level 3 authority means. It's really not about affirming achievements, nor is it merely based on trust. It's focused on the future. The world is ever-changing, and even Qianlong is starting to feel overwhelmed. Regarding much information, Qianlong appears delayed. For example, Kun Kang, the Earth Core Bridge realm. In Qianlong's information system, the data about these places is not as comprehensive as Lin Zaiasu's. Therefore, Chief Long intends to exchange sincerity for sincerity. He grants Lin Zaiasu level 3 authority in exchange for Lin Zaiasu's future candor with Qianlong. If there is information, share it with each other. If there are gains, unite sincerely. Chief Long slowly extended his hand. Are you willing to reach such a consensus? Lin Zaiasu extended his hand, willing. A gentle handshake. Chief Long laughed. Lin Zaiasu also smiled slightly. Since we've established the tone of sincere cooperation and candor, there's something I'd like to ask you. Go ahead. Qianlong, what are the trump cards? Chief Long said, in the case of foreign invasion, the unity of 1.4 billion children of Daxia is the trump card, and for superpower experts invading, Qianlong's 100,000 elite is the trump card. That's all, Lin Zaiasu said. Chief Long said, what kind of trump cards do you want to know about? Lin Zaiasu said, hypothetically, if Kun Kang Enlightenment Realm breaks out and its combat power is unrestricted, if the Earth Core Strange Race breaks free, with 4th Realm combat power rampaging through the world, how would Qianlong respond? Understood, Chief Long said. You're asking about the transmundane trump cards. Yes. There is another card, not really a Qianlong trump card, which currently exists only in legends, Chief Long said, the 3 realms. The 3 realms. Lin Zaiasu's heart trembled. What kind of power is that? It's a kind of protective power since ancient times. As long as civilization does not face disruption, the 3 realms remain hidden. If civilization faces the danger of disruption, the 3 realms can manifest. I call it a legend only because this talk comes from someone I don't deem reliable at all. Lu Yun. Yes, Lu Yun. Where are the 3 realms? I don't know. Qianlong collected a lot of information, but nothing about the 3 realms. Lin Zaiasu pondered for a long while. He finished 1 cup of tea and filled another. Finally, he slowly looked up. There's something I'm not sure if you know. What is it? Above the 33 towers, there is an array. An array? Chief Long's face changed slightly. Chief Long doesn't know. Chief Long gently shook his head. No one in Qianlong knows. What's inside the array? The array creates a Miao realm, a vast grassland, a river, a snow mountain, and on the snow mountain a Taoist temple, and the name on the temple is the 3 realms. Such a thing. Chief Long stood abruptly. Take me to see it. Okay. They walked out of the office side by side, a golden-head flying car waiting outside. They entered the flying car, directly landing on the top of the 33 towers. When Lin Zaiasu stepped out of the flying car, it was still in stealth mode. The 33 towers have always been Qianlong's place for training disciples, where for a long time, Qianlong members were instilled with a hard truth. The greater your ability, the higher you ascend, and there's no shortcut one can take. Therefore, very few in Qianlong ascend the tower through shortcuts. But today, as it was of great significance, Chief Long had his special car go invisible, directly flying over the surrounding space to the top of the tower. The two of them arrived at the position of the array, with no others around, not even Chief Long's personal guards. Lin Zaiasu said, Chief Long needs to be mentally prepared. There's also a butterfly inside. A butterfly alive. Alive? Is it very dangerous? I don't know if it's dangerous, but it's extremely powerful. How powerful? Jinglei and I combined probably aren't enough for it to even flap a wing. Enlightenment realm, Chief Long's breathing stopped. You might say so. Chief Long exhaled softly. Qianlong headquarters. There's actually such a place, Little Su. Open the array. Let's go in and take a look. Okay. Lin Zaiasu's fingers gently drew across. The empty rooftop immediately transformed. Chapter 457. Chapter 457. Two heavenly kings retire to make soup. In front of them, a stretch of green fields. A clear river. A distant snow mountain. An ancient Taoist temple. Above the temple, white background with black characters, 3 realms. Floating clouds drift around, ethereal like immortals. The words 3 realms appear and disappear among the clouds. 3 realms, 3 realms, Chief Long murmured. The 3 realms he spoke of are actually hidden above the 33rd level. This isn't the real 3 realms. If I'm not mistaken, this is a guiding sign, Lin Zaiasu said, telling us that the real 3 realms are on a snow mountain like this. That's the only explanation. Maybe you can photograph this scene in a special way, compare it, and find out where this snow mountain is. You take the photo. The task of searching for the 3 realms is also entrusted to you, Chief Long said to Lin Zaiasu with great seriousness. All right, Lin Zaiasu took out the dragon eye to capture this image. Suddenly, he saw a tiny black dot. The black dot didn't disturb the flowers on the grassland, nor did it disturb the clouds in the sky, yet it made Lin Zaiasu's hair stand on end. This black dot was the butterfly he had seen once, sent flying with a flap of its wings. The butterfly flew closer and closer. It's here, Lin Zaiasu exhaled. As soon as he said the 3 words, a familiar pressure suddenly swept over them overwhelmingly. Lin Zaiasu was greatly alarmed. He seemed to sense the killing intent of the butterfly. Earlier, the butterfly merely flapped its wings to expel him, but now, the butterfly clearly had murderous intent. At this moment, Chief Long raised a hand, and a jade pendant appeared in his palm. As soon as the jade pendant emerged, the butterfly's pressure suddenly vanished without a trace. It glided swiftly across the sky and landed on the jade pendant. Its wings gently flapped. The breeze it created was no different from an ordinary butterfly. Lin Zaiasu finally saw this butterfly up close. Entirely jade-colored, almost transparent. Inside its body, a blue line, flowing and beautiful without blemish. Chief Long exhaled gently. As expected, it was left by him. This jade pendant, Lin Zaiasu said 4 words. Chief Long nodded. It was also left by him. The butterfly was sealed in this array by Taoist Lu Yun. This jade pendant was also left by Lu Yun. The butterfly sensed the aura from this jade pendant, lost its killing intent, and showed friendliness. The weight in Lin Zaiasu's heart finally eased. Why did he reveal this secret to Chief Long? Because he wasn't at ease. In the core area of Qianlong, an exotic butterfly with power equivalent to the Enlightenment realm was sealed there. No one knew its intentions, and if it ever had the idea of destroying Qianlong, the fate of Qianlong headquarters would be at risk with just a flap of its wings. Now this butterfly showed goodwill. Its origins were also clarified. There was no longer any danger. On the contrary, Qianlong headquarters gained an ace card. If an uncontrollable situation arises, if a super expert breaks into Qianlong, this butterfly would be the final ace in the hole. If this butterfly is an ace, then this jade pendant is the key to the ace. Lin Zaiasu focused his gaze on the jade pendant, activating the heavenly Tao wisdom eye. Sure enough, Lin Zaiasu said. Chief Long, perhaps Taoist Lu Yun left you this jade pendant with another intention. What? This jade pendant is also the key to entering this array. Is it? Chief Long moved his hand, the butterfly fluttered up. Chief Long stepped out of the array circle, reappearing on the 33rd floor. In the next moment, he extended the jade pendant in his hand towards the void in front of him, like a pair of scissors, cutting open the illusion before him. A portal appeared. He once again saw this array zone. Chief Long slowly retracted his hand. His chest lightly rose and fell. This old man didn't say much, yet did quite a lot with deep intentions indeed. Perhaps each generation defines guardianship differently, Lin Zaiasu said. In ordinary people's eyes, the police are guardians during wartime, soldiers are guardians. On the superpower battlefield, Qianlong is the guardian, but if we extend the timeline, there are countless guardians throughout the ages. I just asked you to search for the three realms, but it seems unnecessary now, Chief Long said. Because they are the guardians of civilizational discontinuity, and at the critical moment they would appear themselves. Is that right? Yes, Chief Long smiled gently. His appearance in Qianlong was perhaps just to deliver a message to me, to give us more confidence, more inner perseverance, so that we may believe no matter what dire situations arise, hope will always exist. Well, each generation does the work of their own generation. We strive to do what we can in our time, and without extraordinary circumstances, not disturb them, Lin Zaiasu said. Kid, you indeed did well, better than my initial estimate, Chief Long said. Stop praising me, the words from your mouth make me easily float, Lin Zaiasu said. Chief Long laughed. You now have level 3 authority, you can revisit 101 old places. In mid-autumn August on that mountain, chrysanthemums will bloom keenly. If you're free during the mid-autumn festival, go and admire the chrysanthemums. In Lin Zaiasu's heart, wow. I know the mountain you're talking about, and I also know in which small yard the chrysanthemums will bloom. Is this an invitation from Dai Chang'e for me? Chang Yi is your adopted daughter. You're practically my unofficial father-in-law. In modern society, why are fathers-in-law and mothers-in-law doing this? Exerting effort and creating conditions for their daughter. Is this extremely irresponsible or responsible? Only nodding, all right, old man. The three words old man fell into Chief Long's ears, conveying warmth, not to mention. This term signaled that Lin Zaiasu understood the importance. The old man was pleased. Let's go. The two entered the flying car, landing again in front of the mountain cave. Lin Zaiasu got out of the car. Old man, I won't be going in. Chief Long nodded gently. I'll be going back tomorrow. All right, if there's anything, you can connect with me directly through the Dragon Eye. Thank you, old master. After a handshake, Lin Zaiasu turned and descended the hill. From here, one could see the river. Descending from here was actually quite close. For those at Qianlong headquarters, revealing their talents and leaping down the hillside was an ordinary thing. But Lin Zaiasu stuck to the winding mountain road and proceeded step by step. His mind was processing many things flooding in. This time entering Qianlong headquarters was for rooting out traitors within Qianlong. But the gains went far beyond just rooting out traitors. Not to mention the primary task of rooting out traitors. He unexpectedly acquired the following things. Firstly, his subgod skill advanced 3 levels, unlocking a nuclear weapon level skill, the ability to make people speak the truth. Secondly, he scaled the 33 towers, and consequently became peer with Jing Lei. Thirdly, he learned about Taoist Lu Yun's origins. He comes from the 3 realms. This third one was the happiest news for him. Why? Because the 3 realms are quite mysterious. Generally, they don't appear unless it's during the time of civilization breakdown, and only then do their people emerge. Is it useful? Very useful. As Chief Long said, it lets people believe that no matter what happens, there will always be hope. If we use the words of the Taoist path, that would be, it lets people believe that this path is not alone. Confidence, perhaps, is what should be most present when facing overwhelming situations. Confidence is sometimes more important than gold. The sunset had already descended. The little river ahead was hidden in the dimness. Lin Zaiasu walked forward until he reached Blue Demon's small house and immediately saw 2 beautiful women busy there. One was Blue Demon, the other was Miao Yin. The 2 heavenly kings, one with an apron preparing food, the other stirring with a spatula. The dishes did indeed emit a fragrant aroma. Lin Zaiasu stepped onto the outside platform. Blue Demon smiled. Today we're holding a celebration for you. Isn't this a bit too high-end? Two heavenly kings personally cooking. If we only consider the numbers, this celebration seems a bit modest, but the level can't be defined just by numbers. You have to consider the extraordinary of the dishes. Come, taste this. He handed him a pair of chopsticks for him to taste the dishes already prepared on the table. There were 5 plates: radish, greens, tofu, fish, meat, very ordinary home-cooked dishes. Lin Zaiasu tasted the radish, crunchy, nice. He tasted the fish. It has the taste of fish, delicious. He tried a piece of green vegetable. Color, aroma, and taste are all complete, not bad. Blue Demon was pleased. Are they edible? What do you mean by edible? They're delicious. Blue Demon said, this is the first time Miao Yin has cooked. Achieving such a standard the first time cooking, I must admit, a heavenly king is indeed a heavenly king. Blue Demon nodded. Yes, a true heavenly king, entering strange realms battlefield yet can step into the kitchen. First time cooking, color, aroma, and taste complete. Just say, isn't such a woman one in a million? Lin Zaiasu looked at Miao Yin Heavenly King, ready to offer a nod of approval for free. Miao Yin Heavenly King's expression seemed a bit constipated. Blue Demon, these dishes are actually all cooked by you. You're waving my flag, insisting he praises you to death. A true Heavenly King, have some pride, won't you? Hee hee. Blue Demon laughed, her eyes turning crescent-shaped. Lin Zaiasu felt the urge to rub his forehead. In this moment, the 2 heavenly kings seemed to descend from the clouds, becoming like neighboring girls beneath the moonlit night. The dishes were on the table, the wine as well. There were 7 dishes in total, but only 1 bottle of wine. White. If Blood Trace were back today, he would certainly drink heartily with Lin Zaiasu. The drinking among men wouldn't be like this. But Blood Trace was still in Nammo state at the moment. The 2 heavenly kings were undoubtedly bold, but didn't habitually drink with men, so the wine was mostly symbolic. After 3 glasses of wine, Miao Yin Heavenly King took her leave. The bottle of wine emptied, and the dishes were mostly cleaned up. A robot maid came over to tidy up the aftermath. Blue Demon lightly pointed a finger, and 2 reclining chairs rose from the platform. This platform instantly transformed into an open-air tea room. Both sat on the recliners, a small tea table in between. The sky was full of stars. The stream flowed softly, occasionally accompanied by the summer night cicada song, arising from unknown whereabouts. Tonight you should stay here and rest, Blue Demon said. All right, I'll just sleep on this reclining chair, Lin Zaiasu replied. There's something I need to tell you, Blue Demon said. Go ahead, he replied. News has come from the Divine Temple. Lin Zaiasu's gaze shifted over, his eyes filled with attention. News from the Divine Temple. It was the news he had been awaiting. Upon entering the headquarters, Blue Demon had told him there was a strange occurrence in the Divine Temple. The Flying Eagle army discovered 5 people trespassing from the Bridge Realm, surrounded them, and these 5 people created a miraculous illusion realm, causing the entire army to fall into self-slaughter. Yet as soon as the illusion realm dissipated, the Flying Eagle army killed one of these 5, while the other 4 fled. Hearing this news, Lin Zaiasu gave it a 3-word evaluation. Something's off. Chapter 458. Chapter 458. Mid-Autumn in August, an invitation. Why does it feel wrong? Because the left envoy and Qing Ru entered the Bridge Realm to obtain the Moon Lotus. The super-strong illusion technique that caused the entire army stationed within a 30-square-kilometer area to fall into an illusion also confirmed that the Moon Lotus was indeed obtained by them. Only the Moon Lotus has such powerful force. However, if this is truly the sub-god treasure Moon Lotus, it absolutely cannot fail halfway. It made complete sense for them to take down the Flying Eagle army. But their treasure failed midway. They failed to take down the Flying Eagle army, and even got one of their elders killed by them. The elder from the Ancestor Hall, others may not know their importance, but how could Lin Zaiasu not know? An elder from the Ancestor Hall is definitely above the 3rd realm, possibly even a half-step 4th realm. Such a person, even if coming out empty-handed, couldn't be killed by an ordinary army, let alone wielding the incomparably powerful sub-god treasure Moon Lotus. An unparalleled expert brought exotic treasures out of the realm, making no achievements but dying first. Isn't this a joke? Therefore, Lin Zaiasu confidently asserted that there's definitely a problem here. Based on this, Blue Demon used the Divine Temple's insiders to conduct an investigation. Now the results are in. Blue Demon fully disclosed the results found. Insider confirmed. The left envoy from the Divine Temple and his most trusted attendant Qing Ru entered the Bridge Realm and obtained the Ancestor Hall's treasure Moon Lotus, escorted personally by 3 holy elders of the Ancestor Hall. These 3 holy elders have all extraordinary combat power, with the highest combat power being the 3rd elder, even surpassing the Divine Temple's legendary Shocking God, who also wielded the Moon Lotus. Emerging from underground, facing the Flying Eagle army, the 3rd elder opened the Moon Lotus box and activated the Moon Lotus. Suddenly, the Flying Eagle army began to fight amongst themselves, seemingly about to fall entirely under the 3rd elder's control. However, just at this moment, someone rebelled. It was the attendant Qing Ru, who followed the left envoy into the Bridge Realm. Qing Ru, skilled in subdivine skill, quietly activated the Moon Lotus during the 3rd elder's use of subdivine skill to trigger the Moon Lotus. The 3rd elder used the Moon Lotus to create an abyss illusion realm to mislead the Flying Eagle army. However, Qing Ru created an Earthfall Beast army illusion to attack the Ancestor Hall holy elders and the left envoy. During the chaos, he seized the Moon Lotus and with subdivine skill erased the 3rd elder's consciousness. Once the 3rd elder's consciousness was erased, the illusion over the Flying Eagle army dissipated. The Flying Eagle army unleashed all their firepower, turning the 3rd elder into a beehive. His head exploded on the spot. Initially thought that this elder died under the heavy fire of the Flying Eagle Legion, but actually, the left envoy asserted, even before the gunfire attack, the 3rd elder's consciousness had already been erased. Otherwise, the Flying Eagle Legion could never have harmed him. Lin Zaiasu was shocked. Qing Ru. He had actually met Qing Ru, but his gaze had never focused on Qing Ru. Because in his many confrontations with the left envoy, he always considered the left envoy his opponent on the chessboard. The left envoy had profound insights, skilled in strategies, and was indeed a worthy opponent in their battles. He focused entirely on his confrontations with the left envoy, never considering the attendant beside the left envoy, who knew that it was precisely this attendant he overlooked that rewrote the entire ending. Blue Demon said, and there's an even more explosive fact, Qing Ru was actually long dead. Long dead wasn't the one beside the left envoy Qing Ru. Lin Zaiasu's heart slightly shook. Yes, Blue Demon said. The people of the Divine Temple all feel unbelievable because, in their knowledge, the left envoy is known for his skill to see through hearts, and this Qing Ru remained beside him for quite a long time, making this heart-seeing left envoy completely oblivious, easily surpassing him in his best field. Lin Zaiasu's eyes flickered, momentarily speechless. Blue Demon said, if this person is a friend, he would be a tremendous asset for us, but if he's an enemy, he undeniably poses an exceptional risk. Exactly. Blue Demon asked, what do you think will happen next? Lin Zaiasu replied, not optimistic. You are concerned. Concerned the Ancestor Hall still has a trump card. Lin Zaiasu gently shook his head. I actually hope they have a trump card. If they don't, that's a disaster. What do you mean? Blue Demon didn't understand. Lin Zaiasu said, if there's a trump card, the Ancestor Hall might still continue to play it, avoiding a mutual destruction scenario, but if they really run out of cards, then they will truly become cornered beasts. Facing a cornered beast is the most feared enemy. Blue Demon understood. If they become cornered beasts, what's the most likely catastrophic scenario to occur? The Ancestor Hall is famous for their magic techniques. No one knows what kind of countermeasures they have when pushed to the brink, but observing from minor to major change, it must be unusual. For example, they might reactivate the Earthfall Beast Army. The Earthfall Beast Army was a card once played by the Divine Temple. It was dismantled by Lin Zaiasu. The dismantling method was killing Elder Dai, causing loss of control. This method was decisive, but it had only a temporary effect. Those who can control the Earthfall Beasts are not limited to Elder Dai. There are definitely others who can control it on the side of the Ancestor Hall, possibly a team, each knowing how. Because the Ancestor Hall belongs to the Li clan magic system, relying on magic techniques, they absolutely don't depend on a single individual. The Ancestor Hall was pressured in the Bridge realm due to Lin Zaiasu's ingenious framing technique, targeting them collectively with the Bai clan, their survival space severely squeezed. Hence the breakthrough with the Moon Lotus leaving the Ancestor Mountain. If the Moon Lotus was still with them, they could still implement their nation-building plan. Such plans always remain on the game table, no matter how turbulent the political situation, it remains calm on the surface. However, losing the Moon Lotus led to an aborted nation-building plan before it could start, pushing them towards doom. Isn't this forcing them to die? If they lose all hope, they might indeed reactivate the Earthfall Beast army. The Earthfall army, wild and brutal, ironically such wild and brutal tactics, with gains and losses equally risky, is the most catastrophic. Consequently, the entire Middle East would descend into chaos. The flames of war would eventually reach Daxia. Based on Utopia's grudge against Daxia, they would do such things. Blue Demon's face slightly turned pale. I understand what you're saying, but the Middle Eastern war situation is beyond our reach. We can only strengthen the Southwest defense as much as possible to prevent further impact. Let's discuss something else. All right, speak up. Do you have plans for the Mid-Autumn Festival in August? Mid-Autumn Festival in August. Lin Zaiasu laughed. What do you have planned? If you're not very busy, make a trip to 101, Blue Demon said softly. Lin Zaiasu was a bit surprised. You're also suggesting I go to 101 on that day. Also, who else suggested you go to 101 on that day? Who? Chief Long. Blue Demon chuckled lightly. It seems no one knows their daughter better than a father. You have to tell me, what's so special about this day that you all suggest I go? This day, there's nothing particularly special, it's just her birthday, that's all. All right, I'll go, Lin Zaiasu said. Tomorrow, you'll be leaving, right? Yes. Miao Yin said, Ding Dong is also planning to leave tomorrow. I'll see you both off to Jiangcheng. All right. Do you want to sleep on the bed? No need, I feel quite good here, gazing at the sky with the galaxy full of stars. The summer night cicadas. Song is almost over. If I don't listen now, I'll have to wait until next year. Lin Zaiasu's voice trailed off. Blue Demon quietly gazed at the starry sky, a hint of sorrow in her eyes. Mid-autumn, September 25th in the solar calendar, is just over a month away from now. She told him that it was Chang Yi's birthday. But actually it's not, it's Chang Yi's death day. Life is fleeting, the stars are vast. He actually doesn't know that Chang Yi's countdown has begun, but she knows, and Chang Yi's friends all know. This mid-autumn is Chang Yi's last mid-autumn. Chang Yi, my sister. I can't keep you, I can only let the one you love spend this last mid-autumn of your life with you. The wind rises, bringing a slight chill. In the morning, the cicadas chirped beside the little river, waking Lin Zaiasu from sleep. He opened his eyes to find a blanket covering him. Blue Demon had already brought breakfast. After breakfast, a flying car landed outside the wooden house. Blue Demon gave him a sweet smile. Her form shifted, turning into a man, taking on the role of the flying car driver. At the entrance of the mechanical bureau, they picked up Ding Dong. Ding Dong stepped into the flying car. The door closed, and it became the familiar scene of a lotus pond under moonlight again outside. Ding Dong raised his gaze. Brother, we're finally going home. Lin Zaiasu looked at the bloodshot eyes of Ding Dong. How long did you stay up to have such bloodshot eyes? This time going back, I won't see little you again in this life, so I bid farewell to her, Ding Dong said. Lin Zaiasu was dumbfounded. Little you, your robot maid. Yes, robots are also humans. Attachment grows over time. Ding Dong closed his eyes. Don't talk to me, I'm catching up on sleep. He fell asleep, leaning on the seat. Lin Zaiasu raised his gaze and saw Blue Demon's half-face in front, wearing a toothache-inducing expression. Lin Zaiasu placed his hand on his forehead, speechless. Robots are also humans. Attachment grows with time, and because you won't come back, you spent the whole night saying goodbye, ending up with bloodshot eyes. Oh dear brother-in-law, your affectionate nature is quite extensive. You have 7 or 8 mistresses in Jiangcheng, always being affectionate, and now, even with a robot, you're being affectionate. The flying car sped through the air for 2 hours. They were near Jiangcheng. Blue Demon's rich baritone voice sounded. Should I take you directly to Nanhu Villa? No, Ding Dong jumped up. Drop us off in some wasteland near Jiangcheng. All right, the flying car dove down. Reaching a riverbank along the Yangtze River, The lotus pond moonlight on the car windows faded, revealing a patch of wild grass. "Let's go." Ding Dong got out of the flying car. Lin Zaiasu exchanged a glance with Blue Demon, and also got out of the flying car. Blue Demon maneuvered the flying car to break through the sky, disappearing. "Brother Dong, are you really planning to carry out that scam plan of yours on your mother?" Lin Zaiasu said. "Why not if you don't deceive? What's the harm?" Ding Dong said. "Don't rope me into your scheme. Your mom has always had a good impression of me," Lin Zaiasu said. "You must be involved," Ding Dong said. "I have a big basket of plans that need your help to implement really very serious plans." "Very serious?" Lin Zaiasu blinked. "First, I didn't say goodbye to little you yesterday," Ding Dong said. "I was bent over the computer for 2 nights studying those symbols. That's the real reason for my bloodshot eyes." Lin Zaiasu was stunned. "That damned elder wouldn't let me take pictures of those symbols. I had to memorize them. I need to present these symbols precisely and accurately to someone, to have them decoded." "There's really someone who can decode them." Lin Zaiasu was slightly surprised. Ding Dong nodded. Chapter 459. Chapter 459. Encountering the blood coffin again. "This person isn't allowed into the Qianlong base." Lin Zaiasu almost let slip the word headquarters. Thankfully, he reacted in time. In fact, Ding Dong didn't know he was entering the Qianlong headquarters. He always thought it was just a regular base. "Not allowed, and I also promised him not to mention his existence to anyone," Ding Dong said. "But you still mention it to me. You're different, not to mention you're my brother-in-law, part of the family. More importantly, you're a detective. I need your help to solve this ancient mystery." "Why are we suddenly talking about a case?" Ding Dong said. "The person we need to meet is a case in himself." Lin Zaiasu, what do you mean? "This person's ghostly content is significantly high. I must know exactly what it is, otherwise I won't feel at ease." And so Ding Dong began to elaborate. A long time ago, back when he was still in middle school, like many idle heirs, he found pleasure in spending money. However, unlike others, he had an interest in peculiar things. Once he found a strange little object in an antique shop. The shopkeeper claimed it was a treasure. He couldn't tell either way. But the traits of a spendthrift meant it didn't matter whether he recognized it or not, or how much money it cost. He was just indulging in the feeling of squandering money. He spent 100,000 to buy it. However, this object changed his life. One night an old man emerged from this object, showing him many strange things, like a mechanical dog that could run, a box that could fly, and a girl who could dance. They were all holographic displays, but they seemed remarkably lifelike. At first Ding Dong was a little scared, then intrigued, then utterly absorbed. He developed a deep interest in mechanical manufacturing, studying various skills, and started making things himself. The items he crafted became increasingly sophisticated, yet he couldn't understand the old man's methods until one day. The old man told him that the skills he was teaching were ancient skills known as puppetry technique. Puppetry technique is vast and profound. It includes a profound understanding of mechanics and a layout of imaginative thoughts, in which Ding Dong deeply indulged. However, the most profound part of puppetry technique, the rune path, remained a mystery to him. So, when he saw the internal structure of the wing blade, he knew right away it was puppetry technique. But this puppetry technique was too advanced for him to comprehend, so he resorted to memorizing the runes forcefully and planned to show them to the old man for decryption. This was Ding Dong's secret, the secret that spanned his entire life. It explained his interest in the way of mechanics and his exceptional hands-on ability, because he possessed not only the various knowledge of modern society, but also an ancient teacher. Ding Dong summed it up in one sentence. "I really don't know if this old man is human or ghost. When I was a kid, it was fine. But the older I grew, the less I believed in those mystical things. The harder it was to accept a phantom old man crawling out of a blood-red coffin in the middle of the night to chat with me." Blood-red coffin. Lin Zaiasu's heart suddenly leaped. Yes, the little object from the antique shop was a blood-red coffin. Though it's only as long as a finger, it genuinely looks like a coffin. Lin Zaiasu's thoughts were in turmoil. Blood coffin. Another blood coffin. Not many people nowadays have seen a blood coffin. But he had. In his secret realm was another, housing Big Yellow. And now, his fortunate brother-in-law also had one, with someone inside well-versed in ancient puppetry. Must see it. Let's go. We head home. Ding Dong said, about the matter just mentioned, no rush. After all, that old man, whether human or ghost, is trapped inside the coffin and can't escape. Let's first implement the plan of tricking some pocket money from my mom. Lin Asu felt a twinge of jealousy. I mean, your family has only you and your sister as children. Your mom's money is either yours or your sister's. What's there to trick? You don't understand. The money in my mom's hands is considered money only when it's with me or my sister. In her hands, it becomes a glaring torch in the eyes of con artists. Every jewelry store in Jiangcheng has cheated her out of millions. Ordinary jewelry with some hype, prices rise tenfold, and my mom is always happy with it. That makes sense. Big cities do have special courses targeting upscale women. Lin Asu said, but according to Ryu Shui, the money in your hands also ends up filling the pockets of gold diggers. Superficial. What do you mean by filling the pockets of gold diggers? You need a long-term vision, Ding Dong said. When I give them money, they also spend, boosting demand, driving consumption. That's a national rejuvenation strategy. Daxia's revival depends on tens of thousands of people like Ding Dong. My gosh. Daxia revive. Stop with the grand slogans. Daxia's revival can't rely on you. Maybe the economy of flattering sycophants is the only economic field counting on you. The two of them went on together, side by side. There were arguments and compromises, and they finally reached a difficult consensus. Lin Asu wouldn't participate in the scam, but he also wouldn't ruin Ding Dong's plan, and would simply keep smiling the entire time. Entering Jiangcheng, they got into a taxi, and just before lunchtime, the taxi entered the Nanhu Villa district. The two got out of the taxi and arrived at the front gate. The gate opened, and Uncle Sun, who was trimming the plants inside, let out a loud shout. The scissors fell, accurately hitting his instep. Aunt May rushed out. Mrs. Ding rushed out with a loud scream. A figure flashed on the second floor, and in the next moment, Ding Ryushui rushed out of the spacious hall like a gust of wind and appeared in the garden. Mrs. Ding lunged over, grabbed Ding Dong's shoulder and shook him desperately. You bastard, where the hell have you been? You. Mom, it's a long story and it's a story full of tears. Let's go inside. Come on in quickly. In no time, the three owners of the villa, 3 servants and an additional guest all entered the hall. Listening to Ding Dong, the missing young master of the Ding family for 2 or 3 months, recount his story full of tears of misfortune. Ding Dong took a deep breath, very serious, with a low tone and hoarse voice and began. Didn't his mom always teach him not to mess around with dubious women and to find a decent girl if he wanted to be with someone? He listened. Coincidentally, he encountered a very decent woman. This woman graduated from college, had a respectable family background, was very refined and plain-faced. He planned to have a serious relationship with the girl and went with her to Bainan province. Who knew, knowing someone's face but not their heart, he had trusted the wrong person. This woman tricked him into Qingmian country. Good heavens, directly sent into a scam group. The members of that group asked him to contact his family. Ding Dong knew his mother was so loyal, loved her children dearly, and also knew how wealthy their family was. He worried that one call could squander dozens of small fortunes, so how could he make a call? How could those people let go of such a fat cow? He didn't compromise, so they tortured him mercilessly, beat him severely every 3 days and lightly every 2. He thought his life was over, but who'd have known? His brother-in-law, with his divine skills, found him and saved him from life-threatening danger. This is the whole story. He recounted it tearfully and emotionally. Mrs. Ding listened, her heart aching with anguish. The servants listened, terror-stricken. Lin Asu listened, with his hand over his forehead the entire time. Mrs. Ding took a long breath. Thank heaven and earth, it's all thanks to Little Sue. I've said it, Little Sue is a blessing to our family. Ding Dong nodded repeatedly. Mom, you have to thank my brother-in-law this time. Oh, by the way, didn't you offer that 10 million reward? Hurry up and settle it. What nonsense are you spouting, child? Little Sue is family. How can we be so distant? Mrs. Ding gave him a side-eye. This whole incident clearly shows that women are your nemesis. You've got to learn your lesson. Break off with all 9 of those women in Jiangcheng. Ding Dong was stunned. Mom, did you not get the point? This time I got into trouble because of a decent girl. Of the 9 in Jiangcheng, not one is decent. From now on, shouldn't I be staying away from decency, playing amidst the flowers? Mom's face darkened. Even seemingly decent girls are dangerous, let alone those who are clearly not. From now on, you stay obediently at home. You're not allowed to go anywhere. Aunt May, you take charge inside. Uncle's son, you're responsible outside. Yes, ma'am. The two servants responded simultaneously. Ding Dong looked at Lin Zaiasu, doubting his life. Lin Zaiasu's gaze wandered, steadfastly avoiding eye contact. Ding Dong slapped his forehead. I'm going to the basement to reflect on this in peace. Ran off. Lin Zaiasu stood up. I'll go check on him. All right. The two took the elevator down to the basement. Mrs. Ding and Ding Ryushui were left looking at each other. That rascal mentioned the 10 million reward, Mrs. Ding exhaled lightly. Did I tell anyone about that? You shouldn't have told anyone. I mentioned it, Ding Ryushui said. Was it when you spoke to little Sue on the phone? I overheard, Mrs. Ding said. You said if he could find and bring back that rascal, give him 10 million in cash or yourself to toy with. Yeah, now that little Sue has brought him back and you tacitly agreed back then, our Ding family keeps its word. We promised and it wouldn't be good to go back on it. Mom, transfer the money. Ding Ryushui reached to help her with the phone. Transfer what? Is little Sue someone who's interested in money? Is giving him money not an insult to him? What he wants is a person. Mrs. Ding slapped her hand away. Keep your promise, give yourself to him. Ding Ryushui's eyes wandered. Maybe he really wants you to insult him. He wants it, you want it. Your mom, having managed to wrap your professor-level father around her little finger, sees through your little schemes. I'll teach you properly today, Mrs. Ding said. Money in mom's hands grows. You giving yourself to him can also produce a nephew for me, adding to our family. That's what I call a win-win situation, inside and out, making a fortune everywhere. Aren't you a Ding's daughter? Can't you do math? Ding Ryushui was completely shattered. In the basement, the elevator doors opened and the two came out. As soon as they got out, Ding Dong turned his head. Brother, seems like this act has flopped. Be confident enough to drop the seems like, Lin Zaiasu said. Why is that? I don't think there are any holes in the story. Ding Dong was full of dissatisfaction and confusion. Lin Zaiasu said, you put in too much of your own stuff. Chapter 460. Chapter 460 Puppet Master. Contraband. Yeah, didn't your mom tell you to find a decent girl before? You're taking this angle, trying to use an unexpected story to prove her wrong about marriage, so you can create a more relaxed environment for picking up girls. Lin Zaiasu shook his head repeatedly. I understand your mindset about sneaking in contraband, but is this how you sneak it in? Your mom's not stupid. Ding Dong plopped down. Thinking about it, you're right. Oh well, I still have a hefty 8-figure balance in my account which should last a while. Next time I have a plan, I'll show you the proposal first. He reached out, opened the drawer under the coffee table in front of him, and took out a stack of white paper and a pencil. He started drawing symbols. Yes, he was drawing symbols. The strange pattern in the wing blade's brain. This pattern was very complex. Ding Dong had memorized it after a day and a night, and now it was being sketched under his pen. Lin Zaiasu sat opposite him, staring at the tip of his pen, silently admiring him. That talisman pattern, he only glanced at it, and it was firmly etched in his mind. He possesses the heavenly Tao primordial spirit, human Tao orchid heart, and a sub-god skill level of 24. He truly has a photographic memory. Being able to memorize every detail at a glance doesn't mean everyone can do it. This pattern is so complex that even if you spent days and nights memorizing it, trying to draw it perfectly would still be almost impossible. However, Ding Dong did it. The symbol he drew on the white paper was extremely precise, in size, spacing, the 9-layer line strokes and the interior pentagrams, all without error. You have to give it to him. No wonder he's a mechanical genius. His fundamentals in mechanical knowledge are truly solid. Also, it might be a matter of attitude. On other matters, he basically has no principles, but in mechanical manufacturing, he is genuinely meticulous and serious. Ding Dong slowly raised his head, a satisfied expression on his face, lifting the white paper in his hand. You saw this symbol before too. Help me see, is it like this? Lin Zaiasu said, pretty good, just a few small errors. Ding Dong was surprised. Where are the mistakes? Here, in these 4 places, they're not pentagrams, they're hexagrams. Lin Zaiasu took his pen and marked 5 spots. Hexagrams, Ding Dong furrowed his brow. Yes, hexagrams. The remaining 71 stars are indeed pentagrams, but these 5 are hexagrams. Mixing 5 hexagrams among a bunch of pentagrams, to be honest, it's quite easy to confuse them. Ding Dong was full of doubt. You only saw it for a moment. Yeah. Is this detective vision, able to spot the tiniest details? Maybe. Ding Dong exhaled gently. To quote one of your famous sayings, you can doubt a person's character but not their professionalism, right? Damn, Lin Zaiasu rolled his eyes. To doubt my character, you need to have had good character yourself. Others can doubt you, are you sure you can too? Ding Dong laughed heartily and made the corrections Lin Zaiasu suggested, changing the pentagrams to hexagrams in those 5 spots. No more mistakes now, right? At least I can't spot any errors, Lin Zaiasu commented truthfully. This drawing was now perfectly aligned, with the image imprinted in his consciousness. Ding Dong rubbed his hands together. Ready, let's meet the person with a high ghost content now. Lin Zaiasu's heartbeat quietly sped up as he nodded lightly. The blood coffin, inside there was an old man. An ancient relic. This he knew. Not unfamiliar. But no 2 drops of water are exactly alike, nor are any 2 ancient relics. Each relic unearthed is like opening a blind box. You never know if inside is a god or a demon. Ding Dong walked into the inner room and opened a mechanism. Inside, a wooden box. The wooden box looked ancient, and he carried it over to Lin Zaiasu, slowly opening it. Inside was a coffin. A blood-red coffin, a miniature coffin. Lin Zaiasu stared at the coffin, his heart racing with a peculiar energy sensation that didn't seem particularly vast but was immensely ancient. Ding Dong's fingers lightly tapped on the coffin, tapping 3 times. In the next moment, the blood-red color on the coffin seemed to flow like water, and a human figure stood upon the blood-red coffin. This was an elder with hair and beard all tangled and matted. The elder saw Lin Zaiasu in one glance, and his complexion changed dramatically. Boy, you violated our agreement. His voice ancient and time-worn. Ding Dong put on a smile. Master, this isn't an outsider, this is my brother-in-law. He has deep research into matters of the ancient era. A brat, what research could he have? Tell him to leave immediately, otherwise I will kill him. The elder's beard bristled. Ding Dong's expression changed. But Lin Zaiasu smiled. Senior, you are merely a primordial spirit projection, having endured millennia of years. Your power is long gone. You can't kill me, but on the contrary, killing you would just be a flick of the hand. How dare you? The elder roared, murderous intent surging. In the next moment, he completely disappeared, breaking into Lin Zaiasu's sea of consciousness. Unexpectedly, as soon as he entered, a primordial spirit phantom inside slapped him, sending the old man's primordial spirit phantom back onto the blood coffin. It quivered as he looked at Lin Zaiasu in utter disbelief. This kid has a primordial spirit. Isn't this era supposed to be the end of Dharma era? How could there be a cultivator with a primordial spirit? As long as one possesses a primordial spirit, he would be unbeatable by him, as combat wasn't his forte. Moreover, as Lin Zaiasu said, his primordial spirit had endured 10,000 years, its power barely 1,000th of its full strength. Maintaining the spirit was tough. Any primordial spirit with combat power was beyond his ability. Master, I have something to ask you, said Ding Dong. All right. The old man stopped dwelling on Lin Zaiasu, the spectator. I think I've come across the puppetry technique, Ding Dong said. This is the puppet talisman I copied. I feel it's very similar to what you taught me. He extended his hand. The sheet of white paper raised and stood before the old man. The old man stared at the paper, his brows slightly furrowed. Level 5 puppetry technique, not a low level. Compared to you, it's not low. Indeed. Both Lin Zaiasu and Ding Dong felt something simultaneously. Ding Dong said, Master, relative to you, is it low or high? What nonsense. Forgot what I said. On the puppet path I, your master, am a grandmaster. This level of puppetry is nothing. That's great, take a thorough look. Is there any issue with this talisman? In reality, this puppet can't be controlled, said Ding Dong. See this break? There's a section of the talisman missing, the old man said. Just fill it in and the talisman will be complete. Lin Zaiasu's heart leaped. Wing Blade, currently unable to activate its most powerful third form. The fundamental reason is that the path taken was wrong. Using modern technology as a plugin ultimately was just an illusion. If modern technology was removed and Wing Blade's original setting applied, its power would increase tenfold. The missing element was actually just a talisman. This talisman over the long and eternal years had been obliterated, weathered. If supplemented, it would be a true puppet. Ding Dong's eyes lit up. Master, try fixing it. The old man's body shook, suddenly transforming into a plume of smoke. The smoke landed on the talisman, connecting the gap between the two talisman segments. The talisman formed from his transformation, 9 lines perfectly linked, with 5 stars added in between, 1 5-pointed, 4 6-pointed. In this way, the entire talisman had 72 5-pointed stars, 9 6-pointed stars, totaling 81 stars. In Lin Ziasu's sea of consciousness, some patterns arose as well, perfectly aligning with the talisman in front of him. Once the talisman completed, he suddenly felt a mysterious sensation. This talisman seemed to come to life. His heart raced wildly. Indeed, this should be the true appearance of the Wing Blade's brain talisman. Success. Ding Dong glanced at the sheet of paper, rubbing his eyes. It seems complete, but how to test it? The old man's body shook, vanishing from the paper. Puppet talismans aren't easy to draw. Appearance is useless. To truly connect with array power, true chi is needed, boy. I previously pointed out your bottleneck, yet you haven't cultivated true chi. You've suddenly brought your brother-in-law, who happens to be a cultivator. Are you trying to get me to pass the puppetry technique to him? Ding Dong quickly said, Master, the issue about true chi, I've already solved it. Solved it? I indeed have no true chi and couldn't cultivate it, but through experimentation I've found a substitute, created a weak electric rod using transformed current. It can simulate the effect of true chi. Let me show you. He rushed into the inner room, soon coming out with something resembling a stun baton. Using current to simulate the effect of true chi. Lin Ziasu's vision expanded. Is it feasible? The old man eyed this contraption he didn't understand, wanted to ask a question Lin Ziasu contemplated, but perhaps felt asking too much would reveal his lack of knowledge, so he shifted the topic. One more thing. Besides true chi, a talisman pen is also needed. Ding Dong's face, full of excitement, was heavily struck by this. You talk as if constipated. Can't you just explain everything at once? Where can I find an ancient-era talisman pen now? The old man, being an ancient person, didn't understand the modern term constipation, was not effectively enraged, explained. The talisman pen might not need to be ancient. As long as it can connect with array power, a regular array pen can substitute. See, is there a difference between an array pen and a talisman pen? If I can't find a talisman pen, can I find an array pen? Old man. Ding Dong, anxious and disregarding respect for his master, exclaimed. Lin Ziasu suddenly spoke. I have an array pen. Raising his hand, the array pen obtained from Kun Kang appeared in his palm, with 5-element spirit stone inside. Ding Dong grabbed the array pen fiercely. Master, is this it? Yes. I'll experiment immediately. He affixed the array pen to the stun baton, pressed the button, and the baton emitted a strange arc of light. The arc of light suspended in the air. His hand moved, quickly inscribing the talisman from the paper in the air, forming an extraordinary scene. Ding Dong's heart raced faster and faster. Lin Ziasu's eyes also widened. His brilliant brother-in-law really was a genius. The world had often said true chi could emulate effects created by modern technology, yet he, inversely, used modern technology to emulate true chi. From his perspective, it really worked. Chapter 461. Chapter 461, Ding Ryushui fulfills the promise. The old man beamed. It's done, just like that. I'll teach you a set of built-in energy arrays and then you'll be able to create a real puppet. Ding Dong was overjoyed. Brother, could you lend me this pen for a few days? What are you talking about borrowing? I'll give it to you. Lin Ziasu said. Besides, I'll throw in a pile of array stones for you. He stretched out his hand, and a small bag appeared in his palm, which he placed on the coffee table. Ding Dong's heart raced, and he hugged Lin Ziasu tightly. Brother, my sister is yours. If my mom asks for a dowry or anything, no matter how much, just name a price, it's all on me. I guarantee you won't spend a dime, you'll bring my sister home. Lin Ziasu was both amused and helpless. I'll head upstairs first. He turned and took the elevator up. The array pen, he gave it to Ding Dong, simply because he had gathered all 5 elements, reaching the giving up drawing stage in array path cultivation, and no longer needed the array pen. He didn't linger to mooch off the old man's puppet path. not only respecting the cultivation path's rule of the law is not easily passed on, but also due to other considerations. Puppet path was not his path, and there were already plenty of things he needed to comprehend, with no intention of embarking on the puppet path. Ding Dong stayed up all last night, and there's indication suggesting he'll continue staying up today. Because he unlocked the most miraculous secret technique, puppetry technique. His lifelong interests and hobbies in the coming time will fully ascend to his path. Lin Ziasu returned to the hall. Mrs. Ding ran over. "Sire, your brother, how's Donger doing?" "Auntie, don't worry, he's really happy." "Happy?" Mrs. Ding was in complete disbelief. "Yes, and I assure you he won't step outside for the next week." Mrs. Ding smiled happily. "I said it, Sire is the most capable. No matter the issue, you can always fix it, Sister May." "Here, madam. Prepare the dishes. I'm making something tasty for Sar." She excitedly went to the kitchen. On the couch, Ding Ryushui sneaked a peek, giving Lin Ziasu a glance meaning to tell him, "Your tough days are back again. My mom's cooking tomato fried with tomato today. Let's see how you'll finish eating it." Lunch was tomato fried with tomato. Ding Dong didn't come out until sunset. Then he finally emerged, eating the meal Aunt May left, pretty much sweeping clean, and then excitedly headed upstairs, pulling Lin Ziasu into his room. Mrs. Ding Ryushui, and Aunt May observed cautiously. They were all stunned. Just like Lin Ziasu said, he was very happy. Very cheerful. But is this reasonable? He just went through 2 or 3 months of brutal torment, and as soon as he returned home, faced another punishment from his mother. No going out to mess around with mistresses. By normal standards, given this wastrel's previous habit, he shouldn't be excited no matter what. Yet he was indeed very cheerful. From the look of it, he didn't even need a psychologist for his severe psychological trauma. Indeed, Ding Dong was extremely excited, pulled Lin Ziasu inside the room and closed the door. "Brother, I think I've truly decoded the wing blade. So, planning to return to Qianlong to catch up with your little you." Ding Dong shot him a glare and suddenly laughed, chuckling loudly. After laughing, he shook his head. "No need for now. Anyway, the wing blade's current capabilities are sufficient. I've barely stepped through puppetry technique's door. Might as well hone this skill first. Hey, how's your case going?" "Preliminary breakthrough," Lin Ziasu said. "Your cheap master has quite a mysterious background." He relayed the legend of the ancient relics to Ding Dong. Ding Dong was deeply moved. During the ancient era, one clan contended for supremacy, leaving behind relics, and when they emerge, the world outside has become so different. Speaking of my master, although he still has a bit of ghostliness, considering his experiences, it's pretty pathetic. My emotional knots are untied. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm off. Heading downstairs, he directly told Mrs. Ding that for the next few months, he'd be making some things in the basement and wouldn't be coming out. Just have Aunt May bring him meals. Then he went into the basement. Lin Ziasu's second prediction came true. In the coming time, Ding Dong will be very well behaved. The dandy will transform into a homeboy. Ding Lijiang returned. Knowing his son came home, he was happy all day. Seeing Lin Ziasu visit, he was even more delighted. He accompanied Lin Ziasu for dinner, had some red wine, and all the gloomy clouds enveloping the Ding family completely dispersed. At night, Lin Ziasu went into the guest room, washed up, and lay on the soft big bed. The door softly clicked, silently opening. The scent wafted in, causing Lin Ziasu's heart to race. Ding Ryushui came in. She had just bathed, her hair not completely dry. Her face bore a hint of blush. Her pajamas, although very loose, made Lin Ziasu curse his good eyesight bitterly, as he could clearly see the vacuum underneath. A gentle fragrance swirling, stirring up a pond full of spring waters. Ding Ryushui approached his bed, sitting down with half of her hip on the edge. "I'm here on my mom's orders." "What?" Lin Ziasu was quite surprised. Ding Ryushui shot him a little side-eye. "Don't get any wrong ideas. I'm here because my mom wants me to ask what exactly is up with my brother." "Didn't he say that? He got kidnapped by a fraud ring and I went through hell and high water, risking life and limb to rescue him." "Oh please, do you think I believe that?" "Believe or not, what matters is, I completed this impossible task. You once said you'd give 100 million. When are you paying up?" Lin Ziasu retaliated. Ding Ryushui said, "My mom said using money to hit you is an insult to you." "What if I want to be insulted?" "Even if you want to be insulted, it's useless. My mom is a complete miser, not a penny spared. Ding Ryushui sighed. She plans to give a second kind of reward. Oh, I really don't know how to put it. Lin Zayasu's eyes widened. Second kind of reward, giving someone. Ding Ryushui bashfully coy. This pear blossom with a bit of dew. This shyness with a touch of timidity. Like kindling that can gradually warm a man's blood. So, shall we? Ding Ryushui stammered. I promised to play, I keep my word. But I didn't say play must be about that. At most, you could have a kiss. She closed the room's light with a flick of her wrist. As the light went out, the fragrance became palpable. The car was already on the road, trying to brake on the muddy surface, but it wasn't easy. Ding Ryushui set many boundaries, each with a caution. Don't overdo it, at most just. From at most a kiss to at most a feel to just rubbing against the outside. In the end, all principles retreated to the heels. Blood-heated mind went blank, eyes closed, feet kicked. The soft big bed, like waves of the sea, began to undulate. At dawn, Ding Ryushui sprang up. Oh my God, went too far. After breakfast, Lin Zaiasu was about to leave. She drove him in her blue car, first stopping at a pharmacy to buy a box of morning-after pills. Watching her graceful figure, like a pear blossom after rain, exit the pharmacy, Lin Zaiasu admired her greatly. Closing the car door, Ding Ryushui picked up the teacup. Hey, how many do I take? How would I know how many to take? I've never had them. Check the instructions. The instructions are vague, it says take one at a time. What does one at a time mean? Ding Ryushui said. You did it 4 times, should I take 4? Probably not, it should still be 1. The two studied it closely for a long time. Ding Ryushui said, whatever, I'll just take 1. If I mess up and have triplets, I'll ask my mom for 3 billion. Oh my God, you find wealth everywhere. Back to having fun in Jiangcheng, they were completely uninhibited. Kissing in the car, holding hands under the willow, having a big meal at noon, then checking into a high-end hotel to flaunt youth and passion in Jiangcheng. As the sun set in the west, Ding Ryushui floored it to send him to the airport, hugging and kissing him goodbye, and comfortably returned to Nanhu Villa. Entering the villa, Mrs. Ding ran out from the living room. Did Zaiasu get home? Yeah. Did you go meet his mom? Why would I see his mom? How could you not think about bonding with your future mother-in-law? What bonding? Is not even that serious with us yet. Not that serious yet. I'll show you not that serious. Mrs. Ding was exasperated, almost grabbing the family rules. Ding Ryushui immediately dashed upstairs and escaped. Aunt May grabbed the lady's hand, whispering in her ear. Mrs. Ding's expression suddenly changed, looking at Aunt May incredulously. Are you serious? Seriously, I'm sure about this if nothing else. All right, Mrs. Ding was full of joy. As for what Aunt May was talking about, you'll have to guess. As for what Lin Zaiasu did after saying goodbye to Ding Ryushui, that's directly revealed. He took an international flight, re-entering the Middle East. This time entering the Middle East, he didn't use the nasty method from before. He used a legitimate way. Applying for a passport with his real name. Ordinary people need to check their ancestors to get a passport, but Lin Zaiasu applying for a passport is too simple. Took out Dragon Eye, clicked a section. Half an hour later, he went directly to the airport's police office, where a policeman appeared in front of him, saluted, and handed over a passport with both hands. This passport usable globally. This is Level 3 authority. Level 3 authority, Qianlong King's treatment. If anyone from Qianlong knew he was using this method to travel abroad, they would be shocked. Lin Zaiasu ranked second on the 9-headed snake death list. What does second on the death list mean? It's worth the entire base of 9-headed snake to exchange lives for it. The Middle East is so complicated, yet you dare to expose your whereabouts. But Lin Zaiasu just dares. From Jiangcheng reaching the Derta capital, then he vanished into thin air. Even if someone follows, they would never track him. No one knew he went to an old place. The Divine Temple. The Divine Temple, still under Flying Eagle Army's control, Lin Zaiasu didn't enter the temple basement, wearing a regular soldier's attire, stood at the perimeter. The night wind rose, bringing the chill of late autumn. The cloudy sky was dim, highlighting the military's somberness. Lin Zaiasu's heavenly Tao wisdom eye retraced, going back to that scene. The left envoy Qingru, 3 holy elders. The moon lotus appeared, the army turned on each other. Suddenly, Qingru acted, took the moon lotus and hid behind the ruins. Exit the battlefield from another side. On that battlefield, there was clearly a defensive line. As he arrived, the soldier's eyes showed confusion. He walked out of the battlefield boldly. With a look, a soldier on a military vehicle got off. He got on, driving away leisurely. There were roadblocks ahead, military guards. But once they saw his eyes, they all obediently opened the barriers. The military vehicle drove to the capital without obstacles. Then he got off the vehicle, slipped into an alley, removed the human skin mask and put on another one. Lin Zaiyasu stood on the street, lost in thought. It was him. Chapter 462. Chapter 462. Bai Shan Residence and the 6ERED Chinese Letter. The next moment, a gust of wind blew by. Lin Zaiyasu waved to call a taxi, returned to the airport, bought a plane ticket and headed back to Daxia. The plane ticket showed the destination, Great Xia Yangcheng. He re-entered the Middle East without making waves. Even if someone knows this forbidden figure has passed through the Middle East, they probably wouldn't have time to set any traps. Lin Zaiyasu didn't stir up any trouble either. His goal was very simple, which was to find Qingru. Moon Lotus entering the world is no small matter. Everyone in the Divine Temple is searching for this imposter Qingru. They've been struggling for several days with no result, and signs indicate they will probably never succeed. But among heaven and earth, there is such a detective. His strongest skill is the path of tracking. The person that millions can't find, he can find. Lin Zaiyasu took a nap on the plane, and when he woke up, he was already over Yangcheng. As he stepped out of the airport, the sky had brightened. A round red sun rose from the sea, and the sea was bathed in gold. Yangcheng streets were bustling with traffic. Along the snack street, the aroma wafted all around. Lin Zaiyasu had breakfast, strolled out of the snack street, arrived on the main road, raised his hand, and a taxi stopped in front of him. Driver, Mayanbai Mountain. The taxi headed south. Along the winding mountain roads of Mayanbai Mountain, following Lin Zaiya수's directions, it went all the way up. Ahead stood a white villa. Bai Shan Residence. Lin Zaiyasu got out of the car, came to the front of Bai Shan Residence, and gently rang the doorbell. A beautiful woman appeared, looking at Lin Zaiyasu with a smile. "Mr. Lin, it's you." Lin Zaiyasu smiled. Having a robot doorman has an advantage. Once you're in the database, the next time you come, you'll be recognized. "Yes, sir." Lin Zaiyasu asked, "Is Professor Lin here?" "He is." "May I see him?" The beautiful woman smiled. "The master is waiting for you in the study." This is the second advantage of robots. Guest registration is waived, and the approval for whether to see guests is done unnoticed. Lin Zaiyasu met with the robot for a moment, and the information was already sent to Lin Weiyang. Lin Weiyang nodded, and the robot opened the door and directly took him to the study. In the study, Lin Weiyang was sitting in front of the tea table, stood up with a smile and extended his hand. "I said this morning, the magpies in the garden were chirping. Turns out a distinguished guest is visiting." Lin Zaiyasu lightly shook his hand. "You still have magpies in your house?" "Take a look." Lin Weiyang raised his hand, pointing out the window. Lin Zaiyasu looked in the direction he pointed, and there really was one, standing on the branch, very joyful. As his gaze returned from outside the window, he was suddenly attracted by a small ornament on the table. This ornament, with rabbit ears and a wolf body, was very peculiar. 6 ears. 6-eared left holder. "Mr. Lin, please sit," Lin Weiyang said. Lin Zaiyasu sat down. The robot that brought him over stepped forward to prepare tea for him. Lin Weiyang gently waved his hand. "You may go out first." The robot left, closing the study door. Lin Weiyang personally held the teapot and poured Lin Zaiyasu a cup of tea. The tea was freshly brewed. Lin Zaiyasu took the teacup, slowly raised his gaze. "Professor Lin, you have a left holder on your desk." "Indeed," Lin Weiyang nodded. "Mr. Lin knows left holder." Left holder, recorded in the mountain and river scripture, usually only has 2 ears, but the left holder on Professor Lin's desk has 6 ears. Is there any significance? Lin Weiyang slightly smiled. The 2-eared left holder, although a sea and river strange beast, often acts smart. Hence, no matter which realm, they are pawns. Only the 4-eared left holder can wield the edge of the left path and establish a foundation. What about 6 ears? 6-eared left holder, a legendary entity. Lin Weiyang said, It's said, the heavenly Tao holds the middle, I hold the left. The heavenly Tao holds the middle, I hold the left, meaning, I am the supreme of alternative paths. Lin Huayang slowly raised his gaze, slightly smiled. Alternative paths, does Mr. Lin have disdain? I wouldn't dare, Lin Zaiasu said. The Tao has no differentiation between good and evil, and the left path could also achieve great feats, how dare I disdain? Lin Huayang applauded and praised. The Tao has no differentiation between good and evil. Mr. Lin's words resonate deeply with me. I toast you with tea instead of wine. A mutual toast. Lin Zaiasu lifted his teacup, gently tapped against his, and took a sip. Lin Huayang said, Mr. Lin, do you have an interest in taking a walk in my garden? Accompany me for a stroll. Sure, Lin Zaiasu said. Previously, the professor's white coat was like snow, sitting in a wheelchair, a beautiful woman pushing and walking among the flowers. Today I'll push you. Let's skip the wheelchair, it makes me look old and crotchety. Lin Huayang said, I once told you my legs actually have no issue, just my body is a bit weak. Lin Zaiasu stood up, then a walk. The two left the study, stepping along the path with green stone. At this moment, although the garden's flowers have wilted, there are still countless new greens flourishing. Spring has passed, summer has also passed. Whether it's spring flowers or summer flowers, they have all wilted. Lin Huayang said, However, look, this is my newly planted asters about to bloom. Professor Lin, do you really like planting flowers? Lin Zaiasu asked. Yes, flowers and plants are quite peculiar things. A little breeze can make them wither easily, yet they are also resilient. As long as the world persists, they endure endlessly. Even if heaven and earth were turned upside down, they would still endure. So I always think that the way of plants is similar to the human path. Lin Zaiasu said, Are you implying that the three paths, heaven, earth, and humanity, competed 10,000 years ago? You also know of the competition between the three paths. Lin Zaiasu said, I occasionally came across a piece in an ancient book that said, the heavenly Tao is strong, the earth's path is deep, while the human path is weak. However, it is this weak human path that persists throughout time and is never extinguished. It raises the question, what is weakness? What is strength? Lin Huayang stood with one foot at the edge of the cliff. What do you think? What is weakness and strength? What do you think? Lin Zaiasu countered. Lin Huayang laughed. I am a result-oriented person. I don't care about the process nor the twists within. I only face the final result. The result I see is that the ancient wilderness is sealed, the earth core is sealed, and on this soil of civilization's continuation, only the human clan has established a splendid civilization. Why is that? Lin Zaiasu asked. Lin Huayang countered, Let me ask you instead, why is that? Because of human nature, Lin Zaiasu replied. Human nature? I prefer to see the contest between the three paths of heaven, earth, and humanity from 10,000 years ago as a competition of nature. The heavenly Tao is divine nature, the earth's path is demonic nature, and the human path is human nature. Only human nature can gradually push civilization deeper. Well said, human nature, I like that term. Lin Huayang laughed heartily. Lin Zaiasu also laughed. Professor, I actually came today to thank you. Thank me for what? You gave me two pieces of advice that day. First, to beware of someone with two shadows. Second, to beware of a place. It was thanks to your warning that I passed safely. Lin Huayang smiled lightly. Shall I give you another warning? Go ahead. If one day you enter Luoba State, beware of a person. What kind of person? A person with two lives. Lin Zaiasu was slightly stunned. Can you be more direct this time? No, I cannot. Why? Because even I am unsure about this person. I cannot let you form a preconceived notion about something uncertain. Understood, thank you, Lin Zaiasu said. Between you and me, there's no need for thanks. I help you, no thanks needed, and you help me, no thanks needed either, Lin Huayang said. The two faced each other, standing by the cliff's edge. Their hair was blowing in the wind, and at that moment they both exuded a sense of high spirits. Their eyes shone brightly, like autumn waters. Their conversation seemed ordinary, but every word seemed to carry deeper meaning. Lin Zaiasu asked, Professor, with your profound knowledge, have you ever heard of a place called the Three Realms? The Three Realms, I do know about it, Lin Huayang said. It's said that there's such a place called the Three Realms, where the guardians of civilization reside. They exist beyond human comprehension until civilization faces the risk of disruption, at which point they appear. I knew you would know. Lin Weiyang said, I too once had confidence in a name like that, but I must remind you, sometimes the higher the hope, the greater the disappointment. We cannot leave our fate to be determined by a legend. Indeed, every generation has its own mission. Lin Weiyang gazed at the undulating sea ahead and sighed gently. Autumn is almost over, and the cold winter is coming. Some things need to be accelerated. Like what? Lin Weiyang said, like the nine-headed snake. I hope to completely eradicate it by the 3rd day of March next year. Lin Zaiyasu was greatly shocked, staring at him dumbfoundedly. There's a saying on the cultivation path. This path is not solitary, Lin Weiyang said. Have you heard of it? Yes, I have. What are your thoughts? This path is not solitary, I hope. It truly is. Lin Zaiyasu extended his hand and gently shook his goodbye. Lin Zaiyasu walked through the garden with falling leaves and exited the gate, descending the mountain. Lin Weiyang stood at the cliff's edge, silently watching his departing figure. His eyes were like a vast river of stars. Light flickered within them, but no one knew what this light represented. A dark shadow silently appeared behind him, a woman in black clothes, extremely short but with a perfect golden ratio, full of beauty. Her face possessed a wildness, yet also a touch of femininity. The wildness and femininity on her exquisite face created a mysterious contrast. The teacher's casual words are unfathomable. I bet this young man regarded the teacher as though he were the 9 heavens immortal venerable at this moment. The woman smiled faintly. Lin Weiyang gently raised his hand and took out a piece of paper from his pocket. Take a look. The woman took the piece of paper and was suddenly startled. His itinerary. He arrived in Derda yesterday and returned home today. The first stop was the teacher's Bai Shan residence. Could it be? She didn't finish her sentence, but her expression was already one of shock. Lin Weiyang's gaze slowly lifted. Everyone has their own path. You say he views me as the 9 heavens immortal venerable, but perhaps not. On the contrary, I see his skill in detective work as truly like that of the 9 heavens immortal venerable. This is not a detective skill that belongs to this world. It's definitely not a detective skill. Lin Zaiyasu descended Mayan by mountain in the morning breeze. His heart was like the waves of the South Sea, rolling endlessly. Having entered Derda yesterday and withdrawn from the Middle East overnight, he had accomplished something that countless experts of the Divine Temple wanted to do but couldn't. That was to find the mysterious Qingru. He had found him. That person is Lin Weiyang. Chapter 463, Chapter 463, Zhao Zhen's Task. Lin Weiyang, who disguised as Qingru and infiltrated the left envoy's side, was also the one who seized the Moon Lotus at the most critical moment. Moon Lotus, the sub-god treasure. Theoretically, when he saw the one who stole the sub-god treasure, there could only be 2 outcomes. Either he wins and acquires the Moon Lotus, or he loses and has his consciousness erased by the possessor of the Moon Lotus. Both outcomes have very strong motivations. Lin Zaiyasu has the motive to seize the Moon Lotus, and the motive is extremely strong. Why? Because he has unlocked the heavenly human lock, and he possesses the sub-divine realm. A person who has unlocked the heavenly human lock is like someone who opened an empty box, urgently needing the mightiest sub-god power to fill it. And the Moon Lotus is the best treasure for enhancing one's sub-god cultivation. It's hard to imagine what kind of extraordinary heights he could reach if he absorbs the sub-god power of the Moon Lotus. And that treasure seizer naturally also has the motive to erase him. Why again? Because the Moon Lotus attracts too much attention, and as soon as it appears in the world, it will immediately draw countless experts to snatch it with every possible means. Therefore, the possessor of the Moon Lotus, if they don't want to die, should erase all those who know about it. So theoretically, he and Lin Weiyang, one of them wouldn't see the sunset this afternoon. However, some seemingly unintended small details, some seemingly casual words, gave their meeting a third outcome, which is to maintain a tacit understanding and to leave calmly. Why did this happen? First, because of the 6-eared left holder that appeared on Lin Weiyang's desk, which caught his attention. 6-eared left holder, it's a mark that appeared on a confidential document. On that day, someone sent a confidential document to Qianlong's dedicated email using an untraceable signal method. This document completely exposed the identity of the general leader of the 9-headed snake Daxia district. This achievement is comparable to Lin Zaiyaasu's accomplishment on the 9-headed snake battlefield at the end of the year. This confidential document marked a 6-year left holder. And after Lin Zaiasu discovered this left holder gimmick, using the magic of time-space reversal, he witnessed something. 2 nights ago, Lin Weiyang in the study room again sent a confidential document, still marked with 6-year left holder. This document had 7 names on it, and the recipient was still that Qianlong email. He sent the email precisely, while Lin Zaiasu was having a great time at Ding's villa. He received Ding Ruoshui's reward for finding someone, and had been with Ding Ruoshui 4 times overnight. At that time, he didn't tell anyone his next step was heading to the Middle East, nor did anyone know his next journey. Lin Weiyang absolutely couldn't have sent a confidential document just for performing a play during this night. So what Lin Weiyang did was not to cope with his sudden visit. What about Lin Zaiasu? Could he destroy this patriotic hero for an exotic treasure? If the 6-year left holder and that confidential document prevented Lin Zaiasu from acting, the subsequent conversation was what really made him change his determination. Orthodox or unorthodox, there's no distinction between them. I am a result-oriented person. I don't look at the process, only the outcome. Correspondingly, does judging a person also mean we shouldn't look at what magic they possess, how many doubts they've had in the past, but rather what they are doing? On the cultivation path, I hope this path is not a solitary one. In a collapsing mansion, any insightful person also hopes this path is not alone. No matter who the person is, no matter what stance they held before. When the heaven-tilting disaster comes, everyone should unite. Autumn is about to pass, winter is coming. This winter could very likely be next year's 3rd day of March. On the 3rd day of March, there's a saying among the people called Ghost Gate opens. Lin Zaiasu was originally unsure whether the Ghost Gate would open on this day, but he calculated that this date is the next equatorial split sun. When Lin Weiyang mentioned this date, what does that signify? It shows that he too has calculated this equatorial split sun. Moreover, he knows this equatorial split sun is different from this year's equatorial split sun on the 1st day of the Lunar New Year. It is quite possibly the actual Ghost Gate opens. He told Lin Zaiasu that the 9-headed snake needs to be completely eradicated before this time point. Completely eradicating the 9-headed snake, how hard could that be? Qianlong, as the mortal enemy of the 9-headed snake, has struggled with them since the founding of the nation. With both parties being evenly matched, it wasn't until Lin Zaiasu and Lin Weiyang, the twin Lins, joined forces that they slowly turned the tide, forcing a complete suppression of the 9-headed snake in the Daxia district. Globally, it's not just the Daxia district. The power loss of the 9-headed snake is still very limited. Besides the deaths of the white-clothed king and the shadowy heaven king hurting them, they presumably don't care much about the other losses. To eliminate this stubborn disease within half a year, Lin Zaiasu had no grasp, but Lin Weiyang seemed to have a hold on it. Just ahead was a bend. Turning past this corner would also mean bidding farewell to Bai Shan residence. As Lin Zaiasu crossed this bend, he laid down the conflicts in his heart. Okay, as you said yourself, a result-oriented person. I won't look at what you did before, I'll look at what you'll do next. The moon lotus wasn't something I was born with. I want to take it, that's normal. You want it too, which is also entirely normal. I targeted the divine temple, which objectively assisted you. I gradually forced out the moon lotus card, and you reached out to pluck it. That is gauging the situation, that is a contest of strategies. During that journey, both you and I gained our respective rewards. Currently, in terms of combat strength reserves, you have the formidable moon lotus, and I have my sub-divine realm's prowess. It's equally matched. Then let's see later on. Having unraveled this knot in his heart, Lin Zaiasu spotted a car by the roadside. A very flashy car, a very familiar car. Lin Zaiasu smiled slightly as he saw the window roll down to reveal a dashing, handsome face. Zhao Zhen, the 3rd young master Zhao, who picks up the bill for everyone. Did you check my flight information? Lin Zaiasu said with a smile. Flight information is easy to check, doesn't require any amazing privileges. Even ordinary people have ways to check it, let alone Zhao Zhen. Actually, no, I just have some surveillance over Mayanbai Mountain. Zhao Zhen tilted his head. Get in. Lin Zaiasu got into his car. The car slowly started, heading down the mountain. Zhao Zhen's eyes flickered slightly. Mayanbai Mountain, I have some surveillance, but so far I haven't penetrated Bai Shan residence. Lin Weiyang is not an ordinary person. Don't delve deeper for now, Lin Ziasu said. Zhao Zhen frowned slightly. You've visited him twice. Have you already let down your guard? It has nothing to do with letting my guard down, Lin Ziasu said. It's just that. His unusualness may far exceed your expectations. Blind infiltration may ruin things. Zhao Zhen's frown relaxed. All right, I'll listen to you. Do you have any other plans for coming over this time? Yes, didn't you say last time? You asked me to come over next time and team up to do something, Lin Ziasu said with a smile. This was the agreement Zhao Zhen made with him on his last trip to Yangcheng. Zhao Zhen had said there was something that wasn't urgent but important, and he asked Lin Ziasu to come over next time. Zhao Zhen was moved. Did you really come for this matter? To say I came just for you wouldn't be true, but since I happen to be here, and I've got nothing much on hand, why not tell me about your matter? This matter is quite special. It involves a trader. Zhao Zhen began to unfold the story. Southern Group, a private enterprise in Daxia. Its special nature lies in its hefty investment in R&D and its pure roots, refusing any capital infiltration. The research of Southern Group is for the nation. Thus, it became a thorn in the side, a thorn in the flesh of opposing Western forces. Repeated sanctions and various blockades. Most companies would have compromised in the face of Western sanctions and blockades long ago, but the Zhao family-founded Southern Group just withstood it. In whichever field you block me, I focus my R&D on that field. If you don't want me to use your patents, I'll create my patents to counter you. If you don't sell me the key chip, I'll develop my own chip and overtake you. Western countries have used many underhanded tactics against Southern Group, such as killing Zhao Zhen's elder brother and sister, numerous assassination attempts on the Zhao family's old master, organizing paid internet trolls to attack, but most commonly trying to poach Southern Group's top engineers. Among them was a person named He Zinkai. This person was detained in Yingyu country under a trumped-up charge while attending a seminar. What measures Yingyu country used on him is imaginable. In any case, he betrayed. In a very short time, the Yingyu country's Lang Ko company launched a new generation, flying chip, and this chip's design concept and core modules were identical to Southern Group's design thinking in the flying chip plan. In other words, the flying chip plan, which originated in Southern Group, was intercepted before it could truly take shape. Moreover, the one who intercepted it, Lang Ko company, happened to be Southern Group's biggest competitor worldwide. The matter I want to discuss with you is about He Zinkai. Zhao Zhen took a deep breath, finishing his opening. Lin Ziasu said, uprooting the traitor. Zhao Zhen shook his head gently. To the average person, yes, traitors should be uprooted, but only the top few people in Southern Group know this matter is that simple. Oh? Zhao Zhen said. The Southern Group's flying chip plan was very controversial at the time, and He Zinkai was one of the strongest opponents. He pointed out a major flaw in the flying chip, which stalled the flying chip plan. However, after he got to Yingyu country and quickly advanced their flying chip, he didn't make any improvements on that flaw. The whole world thinks he made great contributions to Lang Ko company, but actually, just targeting that flaw would cause Lang Ko company a heavy price. Interesting, huh? Lin Ziasu laughed. A project he staunchly opposed in a foreign country he implemented with his own hands, and he didn't fix the flaw he discovered. A replica of the Trojan Horse project. In the Hidden Dragon 101 base, there is a Trojan Horse project in the Spy War manual, where a Qianlong member killed his superior, fled to an enemy country with a heap of real data. But it was precisely this heap of real data that misled the enemy, buying Daxia precious window time. And He Zinkai is remarkably similar to that legendary insider. It's possible, but not certain, Zhao Zhen said. My dad thinks we must bring him back. Because he personally implemented the flying chip plan, he has first-hand information, and his role in the real implementation of the flying chip plan is invaluable. So this isn't a traitor cleansing operation but a rescue mission, Lin Ziasu asked. Yes. If it were just traitor cleansing, it wouldn't be particularly difficult. Zhao Zhen could have easily taken care of it with a trip to Yingyu country. But a rescue, how could it be that easy? To bring a living person out of Yingyu country, what a challenge. Yingyu country isn't Derda. It's the #1 military power in the world. Whether Southern Group or Qianlong, Regardless of how many identities Zhao Zhen might have, he couldn't think of a way to bring someone under direct control of the Yingyu country CIA out of their country. The only thing he could do is seek help from Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu leaned back in his seat, watching the road fly by outside the window, his face calm at this moment, but his eyes sparkling with a few gleams. It was an expression of contemplation. Zhao Zhen lightly exhaled. I'm not asking you to go personally. I want you to give me an idea. After all, there's a rumor that your strategic planning rivals that of Bai Shui. Lin Zaiasu laughed. You're putting such a tall hat on me, how can I possibly respond? Bai Shui's strategies are intricate and profound. I certainly don't have his meticulous calculations. I personally have a bit of a preference for the unconventional. Chapter 464. Chapter 464, A Very Childish Rescue Plan. Ingenious is good. I love ingenious ideas, Zhao Zhen said. Hurry up and tell me what's ingenious about it. He was excited. You might think I'm a bit childish, Lin Zaiasu said, holding his chin. Even if I really think that, I promise to keep it to myself, Zhao Zhen said. All right, then I'll say it. Hurry up, Lin Zaiasu said. Tomorrow, you buy 2 plane tickets. You, third young master Zhao, and I, Linda Jiao Shit Stick, will go to Yingyu country for sightseeing under the guise of tourism. Zhao Zhen's eyes widened. Real names. Real names. Zhao Zhen's eyebrows slowly furrowed. Starting off like this is the biggest taboo in action. Yes, that's why I said you might think it's a bit childish. Zhao Zhen said, whether it's childish or not, the key is it's dangerous. Zhao Zhen is an exception among Qianlong. Most Qianlong members are synonymous with secrecy in the secular world. Even the spouses they've shared a bed with for decades are unaware their partner is a Qianlong member. But many people know Zhao Zhen's identity as Qianlong. When he goes out on missions, he rarely hides his abilities. When Lin Zaiasu first saw him at Tian Tai Mountain, he was wearing a snow-white suit with an $8 million belt around his waist, very flamboyant. Why? Because he's very angry. His brother was killed, his sister was killed, the southern group, supposedly doing national service in the name of Yi country, ended up in such a state. What of it? I walk in the sun. In my own country, am I still afraid of you drain rats? I will rightfully deal with you. I'm not afraid of you dealing with me. Anyway, even if I disguise myself as a useless failure, in the eyes of you drain ghosts, I'm still a target, so I'll give up hiding and directly use tactics. However, this is in the country. In the country, Zhao Zhen is very arrogant. But going abroad with his real name, even if he's 10 times more arrogant, he's never done it. Imagine someone like him with a dual identity. Using his real name abroad is tantamount to a blatant provocation to foreign powers. Regardless of the Southern group's enemies in the marketplace or nine-headed snake, Utopia, they would all get excited. And that's just him. Zhao Zhen. What about Lin Zaiasu? Even more sensitive 1,000 times. Lin Zaiasu killed the white-clothed king, killed the shadowy heaven king, seized the wing blade, cracked the life-soul gu case, and stirred up endless storms in the Middle East, and he just caught a bunch of traitors at Qianlong headquarters. He's currently second on the Qianlong death list, might surpass Jinglei and become first any day. Such a person dare to go abroad. Dare to use his real name abroad. If you dare to go abroad, it's basically a formal challenge to Nine-Headed Snake. All the heavenly kings of Nine-Headed Snake, all their top assassins, might gather in Yingyu country. And Yingyu country is itself one of the world's foremost military powers, its political sphere long infiltrated by Nine-Headed Snake, riddled with flaws. Powers from the drain. Dark forces. The orthodox powers with political guises, but no one knows what's inside. These elements flashed through Zhao Zhen's mind, making his whole body somewhat numb. Lin Zaiasu's plan is what he wanted. Lin Zaiasu also told him that this plan is unconventional, yet just from his words, he didn't know how to comment. This unconventional approach, is it too far off? Danger? Lin Zaiasu raised his gaze. Where do you think the danger will come from? The first danger is that as soon as we land at the airport, we'll be under surveillance, and every subsequent move will be under their control, Zhao Zhen said. Never think that disguising ourselves can fool them all. Even if you can do it, I'm not sure I can. What I want is for the whole process to be within their control, Lin Zaiasu said. Zhao Zhen's face changed slightly. Next, All nine-headed snakes top assassins will gather. Top assassins, Hydra Snake King. Lin Zaiasu smiled faintly. If several heavenly kings fall in Yingyu country, wouldn't we say this trip wasn't in vain? Zhao Zhen's hand trembled slightly, nearly flipping the car, promptly switching to autopilot. He slowly turned. Is this why you plan to go abroad using your real name, to achieve the true goal of enticing nine-headed snakes, heavenly kings, to attack across borders? Lin Zaiasu leaned back slightly. We used to say that the game with nine-headed snake had entered the deep water zone. Now perhaps deep water zone is no longer an appropriate term. It's now the closing stage. With conventional tactics, you can't stir the nine-headed snake's pond of Chunshui, so let me use an unconventional approach to force them to reveal their trump cards. Force their trump cards. Trump cards are cornerstone of any organization. Once the trump card was moved, the entire organization would be shaken. Zhao Zhen took a long breath. So the thing I told you about is actually just a trivial matter, am I right? Not exactly trivial, it's a very good entry point, Lin Zaiasu said. Good, Zhao Zhen slapped the car seat. I still have a second brother and you have a brother too. Our parents won't be lonely. Over the years, we've had the world's finest foods, enjoyed the world's splendor, and played with the finest beauties. It's enough. Even if I die in some foreign land, I haven't lived this life in vain. Let's do it. Lin Zaiasu looked at him with a toothache expression. Seeing your stance, do you want to leave a will? Zhao Zhen patted his head and touched his face. Let's skip the will. To be honest, my love affairs would mean the will would probably just mention what's beneath my 8 million per belt. And the most frustrating part is, I have too many lovers I would need to write a will for. I really can't write it all by hand, and printing and copying doesn't seem feasible either. I understand your predicament, but it's hard to sympathize with your situation. Lin Zaiasu curled his lips. Don't think so pessimistically. You should think like this. After 3 or 5 days, we'll be leisurely strolling through the streets of Yangcheng. You'll be returning with the honor of the first heavenly pride, and I'll have a pile of $250 quietly lying in my account. We're here, Zhao Zhen said. Since we've determined the bottom line of arrogance, there's no need to hide or cover it up. Tonight, a 5-star hotel, 5-star wine, first-class seats, first-class girls. They entered the most luxurious hotel in Yangcheng. Ordered the most expensive wine. A long line of beautiful women stood side by side in front of Lin Zaiasu. Zhao Zhen, with his feet propped up higher than the wine bottle on the coffee table, proclaimed, Spending on the whole venue, young Master Zhao pays the bill. This phrase is outdated. Tonight, my brother, the whole bed consumption, young Master Zhao pays the bill. Brother, pick one or pick a row, it's up to you. Oh my God. Lin Zaiasu waved his hand. Everyone out, young Master Zhao is drunk. Nothing was spoken that night. The next day, at Yangcheng International Airport, the two of them, carrying suitcases, boarded an international flight to Lu City in Yingyu Country. Real name: Yingyu Country, Intelligence Bureau. A sealed room on all sides. A white man reclined on a huge sofa, holding a glass of red wine in hand. Opposite him, a blonde beauty. In the room, 2 photos and itinerary. The middle-aged white man gently exhaled. Lin Zaiasu, Zhao Zhen, entering Lu City with their real names. How dare he use his real name to enter Lu City? Colonel, in fact, Lin Zaiasu also went abroad using his real name the day before yesterday, entering Derda, the beauty said. Is it because this trip abroad was smooth sailing that he became complacent? The trip to Derda was completely unexpected by everyone, and his entire stay in Derda was less than a day. The headquarters didn't have time to react, which is why it was so smooth. If he considers the Derda trip as the norm for going abroad, that's his foolishness, the colonel said. Report the information to headquarters immediately. Yes. Soon news came back from headquarters. SSS level authorization. The colonel's eyes lit up. SSS level authorization, the highest permission. What does it mean? In the entire Yingyu country, all resources of the 9-headed snake can be mobilized. All methods can be employed, with only one goal: to completely kill Lin Zaiasu, leaving him no chance to return. The colonel was excited, and the beauty was also excited. Their flight will land in 3 hours. Should we capture them directly at the airport? The colonel slowly shook his head. Capturing at the airport would make it easy to file charges, but what the higher-ups want is not for him to be embroiled in a prolonged international legal dispute. They want his head. Monitor all lines, ensuring every step of his journey is under our control. Yes. An invisible dark line was laid down. On this line, there were experts from the nine-headed snake in Yingyu country, as well as various elites representing the political and business circles of Yingyu country. In the Western world, infiltrated by the nine-headed snake, targeting a seemingly inconspicuous young man from Daxia with such a deadly setup also left various elites baffled. However, as Lin Zaiasu's past deeds were communicated in small circles, everyone who heard understood. Killing the white-clothed king, killing the shadowy heaven king, capturing a winged blade, destroying the Middle East tiger, causing chaos in the divine temple, solving the life-soul Gu case, shaking the nine-headed snake Daxia branch, and just recently, at the Qianlong headquarters, using legendary-level divine control technique to remove 28 hidden operatives painstakingly planted by the nine-headed snake in one fell swoop. Such a person, how could they only be second on the death list? He should be first. Against him, no means could be considered excessive. Zhao Zhen on the flight, though naturally carefree, felt his heart racing as their target drew closer step by step. He asked himself repeatedly, was it really a rush of excitement yesterday? How did they end up executing such a flawed plan? However, the arrow was on the string, and he had to follow through to the end. And Lin Zaiasu, sitting in first class, had two lines of energy stirring within him. One line, blood tower. The fifth drop of heavenly star tears successfully broke through, representing his cultivation, once again taking a small step forward. Meanwhile, in his sea of consciousness, another primordial spirit temporarily paused its comprehension of the laws of time, space, and cause and effect, and was completely immersed in the subdivine realm. In the subdivine realm, the sub-god of the Qianlong trader Miao Yan, Zhang Yan, plunged headfirst into this mystical realm, transforming into nourishment for Lin Zaiasu's sub-god. After 4 days, it was fully absorbed, and Lin Zaiasu's sub-god skill advanced again, reaching level 25. Will there be more sub-god experts upon arriving in Yingyu country? It would be nice to encounter a few more. He never shied away from gaining nourishment like this. If the major kings of the nine-headed snake headquarters knew that this young fellow at this moment was thinking this thought, they would probably be trembling. Chapter 465, Chapter 465, Fog Heavenly King. The airplane landed. Lin Zaiasu and Zhao Zhen got off the plane, collected their luggage, and took a taxi to a hotel. Checked-in passports showed real names. In the intel room, Colonel Smith, a Caucasian man, furrowed his brows and the blonde beauty did the same. Colonel, they deviated from the plan on the first step. They did not disguise themselves and sneak into the crowd, using themselves as bait to test the reactions of various sides. Smith raised his gaze to seek an answer. Indeed, this experienced intelligence officer had anticipated that Lin Zaiasu and Zhao Zhen, though using their real names while boarding, would definitely use his best transformation technique to blend into the crowd after landing in Lu City. Therefore, they had put a lot of effort into the first stage, ensuring that there were people everywhere monitoring them, ensuring that Lin Zaiasu and Zhao Zhen, no matter how they transformed, couldn't escape their surveillance. He also knew clearly that the journey from the airport to the hotel was the golden window for him to use this wonderful technique. However, this golden window just slipped away in Lin Zaiasu's hands. He entered the hotel. He missed the best disguise opportunity. He gave Smith plenty of time. Testing various reactions must also be based on being confident enough, said the blonde beauty. Maybe his series of victories made him overconfident. Smith smiled lightly. That's what we want, for him to be overconfident. The blonde beauty asked, what kind of deadly trap has the headquarters set up for him? Smith's smile slowly spread. A very intricate trap, absolutely indefensible. The blonde beauty said, I checked his profile. This person is incredibly smart. This trap is designed precisely for smart people. The smarter they are, the more likely they are to fall for it, Smith said. Do you know who devised this scheme? Who? Fog Heavenly King. Fog Heavenly King, the only female Heavenly King in headquarters. Her tactics are as elusive as fog. The blonde beauty's face was visibly excited. Fog Heavenly King is the idol of all the women in Hydra. Because she is a woman, she marked the name of Heavenly King in the male-dominated Forbidden Zone through her own wisdom, becoming an indispensable part of the Hydra system. Inside the hotel, Lin Zaiasu stood by the window, holding a glass of red wine in his hand. The building is old, The wine is aged and before him is the bustling Lu City. Zhao Zhen walked over, gently lifted the curtain and took a glance at the outside Lu City. I'm going out for a bit. No need, Lin Ziasu said. No need. Using real names abroad is the first taboo. Not understanding the situation outdoors is the second taboo. Zhao Zhen intended to disguise and go out to gather some basic information. However, Lin Ziasu rejected him outright. Hotel lobby has already been exchanged for their people. The hotel manager was swapped 10 minutes ago. There are 3 cars outside belonging to them, and 2 people just moved into the restaurant opposite us. They are also theirs, Lin Ziasu said. We've been in this room for 1 hour and 7 minutes, and the actions they've taken and the key points they've captured match the textbook chapters of War Spy perfectly. If I were the instructor, I would give a thumbs up and award them high marks. Zhao Zhen's heart pounded. He only noticed half of what Lin Ziasu said. Among the 3 cars below, he identified one as problematic. In the restaurant across, he noticed an issue with one of the rooms. But he hadn't noticed the rest. I'm an authentic Qianlong Gold Medal 2 in War Spy. If you, as the instructor, give our opponents high marks, then what about me? Isn't it a failing grade? I'm telling you these things to convey a basic understanding. In this situation, any information you can discover is all that they're willing you to find. Indeed, this is a cocoon. Losing the initiative in the starting phase, breaking the situation will be difficult, Zhao Zhen said. We don't need intel, Lin Ziasu smiled. We ourselves don't need intel. Then what do we do next? Wait until nightfall, then go straight to the target location. And then face the killing strokes of the world's top masters there, Zhao Zhen said. Yes, considering tonight will be a fierce battle, also considering you were restless last night, young Master Zhao, you need rest. Lin Ziasu raised his wine glass to him. My God, I can't adapt to the rhythm of executing missions with you, Zhao Zhen said. For the first time in my life, I feel overlaxation is more nerve-wracking than overtension. Zhao Zhen lay on the bed in the room to rest. Lin Ziasu sat by the window, savoring the wine in his cup. Below, Lu City underwent the full-day transition from sunrise to sunset. A voice behind him sounded, first time visiting Lu City in your life. Yes, Lin Ziasu said. How does it feel? Zhao Zhen asked. An ordinary city, how much feeling can it evoke? Lin Ziasu said. The time is about right. The next phase of planning truly begins. Zhao Zhen's expression instantly tightened. Good. Lin Ziasu's voice flowed like water, entering Zhao Zhen's ears. Zhao Zhen's eyes slowly widened. Are you sure? The upcoming scenario will fully match your predictions. I can't be 100% sure. I can only say that it's highly probable, Lin Ziasu said. Therefore, my plan is divided into 3 levels, high, middle, and low. The dumber the opponent, the more troublesome it is for us. The smarter the opponent, the easier it is for us. Zhao Zhen let out a long breath. For the first time in my life, I truly hope that the people from the 9-headed snake are particularly intelligent. Haha, Lin Ziasu laughed, feeling less tense now. Let's go. The 2 of them left the room and went downstairs. Everything around them was normal. They blended into the night crowd, and still, nothing seemed out of place. They passed through streets and alleys until they reached a large building. This building was a research and development center for Lang Ko Company. The building was adjacent to Sheng Lao Avenue, surrounded by high rises. However, behind it was a villa area. It was a residential area for the company's technological talents. The shadows of the 2 flickered, reaching the back of the building. Zhao Zhen whispered, I can bet 100 million that the villa we're heading to is full of cameras, even in the bathroom. Lin Ziasu chuckled softly. What's there to bet on? Even if he Zinkai were paranoid enough to install cameras, I wouldn't be surprised. This is the last time to lighten the mood before the action, Zhao Zhen noted. Start. The 2 moved, seemingly disappearing into thin air. Zhao Zhen's movement technique has always been legendary. Even Lin Ziasu, who fought beside him for the first time, was profoundly impressed, as his movements resembled instant teleportation. Today, in Zhao Zhen's eyes, Lin Ziasu's movements were also like instant teleportation. In an instant, 2 guards under a tree vanished, and even the experts monitoring the area from above couldn't detect anything. However, no one anticipated that. In the intelligence agency's secret room, Colonel Smith stared at the screen with excitement in his eyes. There were 36 screens before him, each showing scenes from the compound. He focused on one of the screens, lightly smacking his lips. So this is the secret of his transformation skill, true chi flowing within, altering facial contours. On the screen, Lin Ziyasu's face changed, becoming that of the guard lying at his feet. A blonde woman beside him murmured, "So our pride, the intelligence agency's special operations members, are truly no match for genuine experts." The two guards weren't real guards. They were intelligence agency special ops members posing temporarily, but they had no chance to react against Lin Ziyasu and Zhao Zhen. Regular guards could be taken down in one move, and special ops members were no different. In the meantime, the two of them had entered the villa. The blonde woman asked, "Can we commence?" "No rush," Colonel Smith replied. "A truly excellent hunter must grasp the best opportunity to kill in one strike." The blonde woman said, "They might attempt to eliminate a traitor with Hizinkai. If we don't seize the chance, they might truly succeed." Smith chuckled. "A traitor from another country still holds value until it's exhausted. Now that his value is nearly drained, he has no value left. If he dies at their hands, it can serve as a reason for us to kill them. It might even be ironclad evidence in negotiations with Daxia." The blonde woman gazed at Smith, her eyes filled with undisguised admiration. This is the person who achieves great things. Every step, every decision is methodical. In one villa, an elderly man with graying hair held a cup of coffee and walked into the study. The study door closed gently as he approached the window. Outside the window was the east. He gazed at the eastern sky, the white hair on his forehead swaying gently in the wind. No one knew what went through his mind. No one understood the feeling of an old man far from his homeland, standing at the edge where falling leaves should return to their roots. The door behind him clicked softly. The old man slowly turned back. Two men entered the study. "Two guards. Is something the matter?" The old man's voice was steady, gentle, speaking English. The guard on the left said mildly, "Hizinkai, Dazia Hidden Dragon greets you." This sentence was spoken in Daxia's language. It was Lin Ziyasu's voice. Hizinkai's eyes suddenly widened, his mouth slightly agape. "Believe this one thing," said the guard on the right. "Those who dare to harm Daxia's national interests will be hunted down, no matter how far." It was Zhao Zhen's voice. You dare to kill in Yingyu country." Hizinkai trembled all over, slowly backing away. However, Lin Ziyasu stepped forward, arriving directly behind him, who said, "We want to kill. We are here to take you, a traitor, back to face trial." You can't do that. This is Yingyu, not Daxia," Hizinkai shouted harshly. As his voice fell, countless gun barrels suddenly emerged simultaneously from the trees and bushes outside. The entire villa was surrounded. Chapter 466, Chapter 466, Wing Blade Within a Scheme. Lin Ziyasu laughed. "So this is what you rely on." 7 words. As he spoke the first word, his hand suddenly stretched out, and the leaves of a green plant in the study fell off completely. The last word left his mouth. Whoosh! The leaves flew out. The leaves sliced through the air silently, but halfway through, they suddenly started spinning at high speed. Poof! Poof poof! Countless sounds merged into one. In an instant, more than 20 people simultaneously had their brows pierced. The entire villa was thrown into chaos. In the intelligence bureau, Colonel Smith's eyes gleamed sharply. He saw another of Lin Ziyasu's secrets, the very move that killed the white-clothed king, Dakongshuan. Up till now, Lin Ziyasu's true identity is beyond doubt. Because he has already exposed 2 unique skills consecutively, the transformation technique and Dakongshuan. "Deploy," the blonde beauty formally issued the total assault order. With a swish, dozens of shadows rose into the air around the villa. All of them were genetic people. Faced with Lin Ziyasu, ranked second on the death list, they were willing to exchange the entire base one for one. Almost all members of Yingyu country also yearned to kill this person and enjoy the glory alone. In an instant, the killing intent surged. In an instant, various genes appeared in unison. Zhao Zhen stepped out of the study, his figure suddenly appearing to the west, whoosh. A bright sword light arose. It was precisely his super steel belt sword worth 8 million, capable of hard-slashing mutated genes. With one sword stroke, 3 people perished. In front of him, a genetic master suddenly turned his head, delivering a slash. Zhao Zhen suddenly vanished. The next moment, 2 people who had just leapt over the eastern yard wall were decapitated. This was his legendary movement technique, instant teleportation. Although his power was suddenly set to the maximum, signs showed that he alone couldn't handle so many masters. There's also Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu raised his hand and slapped the study desk, which directly became fragments. The teacup and ashtray on the desk simultaneously turned into fragments, large or small. His hand waved, sending countless fragments flying out, like a crossfire from a machine gun. In an instant, the genetic people who narrowly escaped Zhao Zhen's killing stroke, 8 or 9 out of 10 perished under his super Dakongxuan technique. Zhao Zhen had just received relief when suddenly a silhouette appeared before him. Such speed unbelievable. Actually not inferior to him. Zhao Zhen's heart jolted, shifting form and position. When he shifted position, the location was completely unknown. But just as he reappeared, a silver spike seemingly materialized in the air, waiting for him. Zhao Zhen, for the first time in his life, truly felt the crisis of death. Suddenly, whoosh! An extremely sharp sword light swept past his ear. Opposite, a silver figure's head soared to the sky. The visitor was none other than Lin Zaiasu. Zhao Zhen lightly exclaimed, "Awakena." As the 3 words fell behind him, the garden wall suddenly collapsed, a towering silhouette accompanied by a violent gust of wind, seemingly blocking half the sky. Zhao Zhen had no time to think, reversed his sword. With a snap, the belt sword broke inch by inch. Damn it! Another over 8 million. Zhao Zhen really wanted to curse for the money, but was immediately awed by the suddenly appeared person, armored all over like a robot. Boom! Boom boom! A series of 3 loud explosions. 3 identical armored machines came from all sides. Zhao Zhen's heart sank completely. All armored. How to break? Suddenly, Lin Zaiasu stretched his hand. 4 discs appeared in his palm. Whoosh! The 4 discs flew out simultaneously, shooting toward 4 armored figures. This, Zhao Zhen's heart leaped. Would this work? He had just tried. The special alloy-forged waist sword directly broke, not leaving a trace on the armor. Would simple hidden weapons break the armor? However, with a soft whoosh, the 4 armors scattered sparks all tumbling down. Zhao Zhen's eyes widened. In the intelligence bureau, in the secret chamber. Damn it, the blonde beauty shouted angrily. What kind of weapon? Earth-falling beast scale. Smith suddenly stood up, able to see clearly the weak spots of armor at a glance, and once deployed, precisely disrupt. Truly extraordinary eyesight and accurate judgment. His finger suddenly pointed out, pointing to a button. As the button was pressed, a light spot suddenly appeared before him. The blonde beauty was still immersed in the colonel's previous comments. The detective's eyesight, the detective's precise judgment. She suddenly saw the colonel personally execute the next step of the operation. Her face changed. "Colonel, no." "Why not?" A fervent glow filled Smith's face. "Headquarters directive. Do not use wing blades against Lin Zaiasu." Yes, the colonel carried out an order she couldn't accept, mobilizing wing blades. Wing blades, of which 9-headed snake had only 4 units. After Lin Zaiasu captured 1, only 3 were left. 3 wing blades, with Yingyu country owning 1. Because Yingyu country is too important. It is a global military powerhouse, its weight uniquely different, thus wing blades are stationed there permanently. Wing blades are the ultimate trump card against anyone. However, the blonde knew it couldn't be used against Lin Zaiasu. This was the directive from headquarters. Everyone knew the reason. Lin Zaiasu captured a wing blade using an unknown method. Until this method is decrypted, wing blades absolutely cannot be used against him. 9-headed snake couldn't afford the loss of 2 wing blades. Yet tonight, the colonel chose to use wing blades. Smith laughed heartily. This is the killing move customized for him by Fog Heavenly King. Customized? The beauty was shocked. Smith smiled. Only fools fall twice in the same place. Truly smart people will modify what made them fall, turning the pit into a trap, dooming their opponent. Trap. The blonde's expression changed drastically. She held a remarkable position in the organization, knowing the top secrets, yet even she didn't know wing blades had been modified into a trap designed specifically for Lin Zaiasu. This plan was orchestrated by Fog Heavenly King himself. Lin Zaiasu, this second-ranked super opponent on the death list, let's see how you escape this time. A surge of excitement also rushed through her body. She locked onto the rapidly approaching light spot. The speed of the light spot had reached Mach 30. In the villa, the slaughter was nearing its end. As genetic masters fell one by one, Zhao Zhen's heartbeat quickened. Suddenly, something seemed to tug at his senses, prompting Zhao Zhen to raise his gaze abruptly. Something skimmed across the rooftop opposite. Incredibly fast. Starlight seemed to shake, the galaxy seemed to be stirred. Wing blade, Zhao Zhen shouted in surprise. The shout hadn't even reached Lin Zaiasu's ears, 10 meters away, when a humanoid machine collided with Lin Zaiasu. Such speed surpassing the speed of sound. Such speed, not even bringing a gust of wind. This was 10 times faster than the day Lin Zaiasu was attacked twice. Lin Zaiasu's hand suddenly lifted. The 5 elements sword in his palm tapped the wing blade, his body following its inertia. Everyone's heart rose simultaneously. Suddenly Lin Zaiasu's laughter rang out. "Ha ha, indeed I fell into the trap." Zhao Zhen took a step forward, landing amidst swirling smoke and dust, staring wide-eyed at the wing blade embedded several meters into the ground. In the secret room of the Intelligence Bureau, Smith's eyes widened even more, his face shifting dramatically, his hair standing on end, his breath seemingly halted. Why did the wing blade become motionless? Why was Lin Zaiasu still laughing? Caught in a trap. How was this possible? Zhao Zhen exclaimed, "Is this your plan?" Lin Zaiasu smiled. "To be precise, it's the pit I dug back in the day. When I took down the wing blade, I intentionally sent a message to everyone. I extracted the energy source from the wing blade. Qianlong believed, the internal traitor believed, Nine-Headed Snake believed. I knew that when they used wing blades against me next time, they'd surely install some special device under the wing blade's blades. The moment I touched the energy source, it would obliterate me." "You're saying you didn't extract the energy source back then?" "Of course not," Lin Zaiasu said. "I directly altered the control center of the wing blade." How is this possible?" Zhao Zhen couldn't believe it. "Nothing is impossible. Nine-Headed Snake could plant traitors in Qianlong, so why couldn't we plant insiders within Nine-Headed Snake's high ranks? Their research team has our people," Zhao Zhen exhaled lightly, "installed a dark gate in the control center." "This is top secret," Lin Zaiasu said. "In fact, when I created this illusion back then, it was also to protect comrades far away in foreign lands." Zhao Zhen asked, "What's the next step?" "Those fools from Nine-Headed Snake gifted us a wing blade, solving the biggest problem of what to do next," Lin Zaiasu said. "No need to consider how to disguise He Zinkai the traitor as someone else. We'll simply fly over the taping ocean." Zhao Zhen gasped, "Flying on a wing blade?" "Yeah, this wing blade thing, crossing borders unnoticed, is the best tool for escaping foreign territories." As his voice dropped, the eyes of the wing blade suddenly lit up. Smith in the Intelligence Bureau slammed a palm down forcefully. "Damned." With his slap, 4 or 5 light spots simultaneously shone. Lin Zaiasu suddenly looked up, breaking into the sky, into the swaying study, grabbing the trembling He Zinkai. "Old traitor, it's time for your Daxia reckoning." With a swift motion, he landed on the wing blade's back. In the air, 5 black dots magnified sharply, missiles. Just as the missiles were 30 meters away from the villa zone, the wing blade soared into the sky, passed through and over the missiles. Boom! The entire villa zone turned into a sea of fire, nearly every house simultaneously destroyed. But Lin Zaiasu and Zhao Zhen, carrying He Zinkai, broke into the heavens, accelerating to Mach 30. In the secret room of the Intelligence Bureau, Smith's screen lost the wing blade's signal completely. Wing blades could not be located. Wing blade lost another one. The operation utterly failed. Let heaven bear witness. Oh, let the Western God bear witness. Smith deployed the most sophisticated plan. He had a myriad of plans to follow up, such as even if tonight's slaughter failed, ultimately making sure they could never leave the territory. However, a single variable suddenly emerged. Wing blade became their best vehicle for leaving the territory. Chapter 467. Chapter 467 is the on-site revelation a new trap. Wing blade, originally a pitfall tailor-made for Lin Zaiasu, has now become his best means of transport. Not only did it allow him and Zhao Zhen to leave the country smoothly, but their mission, which seemed impossible, bringing He Zinkai back for trial, was also successfully completed. The cause of the problem, Smith also figured it out. It was due to an intelligence error. The real means by which Lin Zaiasu captured the wing blade wasn't by extracting the energy source, but by activating the dark gate in the control hub. Wing Blade inherently had a fatal flaw. There was a traitor at the headquarters. The blonde beauty trembled all over. "Colonel, This isn't our failure, it's those fools upstairs." Smith kicked a foot and the coffee table flew 10 meters away, smashing against the wall. In a manor in Luoba State, a hot spring shrouded in light fog. A beauty in a robe leisurely soaked her feet in the hot spring, but the faces of the people around her were very serious because they knew that the heavenly king was not in a leisurely mood. When she is truly at ease, the fog around her doesn't appear like this. Yes, the fog heavenly king was not leisurely. She was waiting for news. As a Hydra Snake King, few messages made her so eager. But tonight was bound to be an exception. Suddenly, light appeared on the wall ahead. A blond, middle-aged man appeared. The Fog Heavenly King's eyes snapped open, staring at the man. That man's face was extremely twisted. "Fog Heavenly King, the plan has completely failed." What? The fog beside the Fog Heavenly King twisted suddenly like a snake. "The Wing Blade Trojan didn't work. You made a fundamental mistake." The man's face was extremely gloomy. "Lin Zaiasu dug a deep pit early on and you fell into his trap." The Fog Heavenly King trembled all over. "Be more specific." His method of capturing the Wing Blade wasn't by extracting the energy source. He didn't even touch the energy source. He activated the dark gate in the control hub, directly seizing control of the Wing Blade. The Fog Heavenly King suddenly stood up. The Wing Blade in Yingyu country was seized by him again. Exactly, he flew away with the Wing Blade. The Fog Heavenly King stood amidst the mist, seemingly completely frozen. The middle-aged man spoke slowly. "We need to launch a thorough cleansing of the headquarters. Find out who exactly implanted the dark gate in the Wing Blade." "Wait," the Fog Heavenly King raised her hand sharply. The middle-aged man's body had already turned around, but slowly turned back. The Fog Heavenly King's eyebrows were deeply furrowed. "Where did your conclusion tonight come from? Is it Smith's judgment?" "It was what Lin Zaiasu and his comrades said personally." "You mean, he and his comrades divulged such important secrets on the battlefield?" The middle-aged man's face changed as well. "The Fog Heavenly King said, he dug a pit early on. How can you be sure this secret isn't a new pit?" The middle-aged man exhaled a long breath. "Logically speaking, you're right. Lin Zaiasu isn't an ordinary person. Theoretically, he wouldn't reveal such crucial secrets in an unclear situation. But there's one fact you can't bypass. He did fly away with the Wing Blade. Except for the control hub being implanted with a dark gate, there's no second possibility." The Fog Heavenly King's eyes slowly closed. Her thoughts spun rapidly. Wing Blade has two key elements. One is the energy source and the other is the control hub. If he used some strange method to extract the Wing Blade's energy source, at most the result would be the same as the first time, turning the Wing Blade into a pile of scrap metal, which would never allow the Wing Blade to act according to his instructions. Flying away with the Wing Blade is only possible with complete control of the Wing Blade. There can only be a problem with the Wing Blade's control hub. No matter how illogical it seemed for him to reveal secrets on the field, all directions point to this one conclusion. Her eyes slowly opened, revealing secrets on the field to force us to self-investigate. "To force us to self-investigate," the middle-aged man said. "You mean, he wants to achieve some goal through this purge?" "A high-level investigation would expose many things, and perhaps there's a pair of eyes watching every critical link. If we truly followed his wishes and started a full investigation, I suspect he would have a way to trace everything back and discover all our key points." The middle-aged man at this moment also felt a chill down his spine. A young man with such insidious scheming, one layer after another, impenetrable. The Fog Heavenly King said, "I've analyzed all his classic cases. I remind you, never use conventional thinking to view this young man. Every step is calculated, which is by no means an exaggeration for him." The middle-aged man said, "You make sense, but we can't leave such a hazardous hidden trouble unchecked. Even if we know it's a trap, we must investigate." "Investigation is necessary, but not along the path you designed," the Fog Heavenly King said. "Activate the Electric Woman." The middle-aged man's eyes suddenly lit up. "The Electric Woman. This is truly the untraceable person. Good, we'll use the Electric Woman. Fog Heavenly King, regarding the loss of the Wing Blade, you have to talk to the Lord. The Lord is truly furious." The fog around the Fog Heavenly King changed once more. Gently swaying, it seemed to tremble slightly. This signifies the fog heavenly king's fear. The Lord has reached a point where ordinary matters cannot affect his mindset, but the wing blade is his absolute sensitive zone. Only because the wing blade, which shook the world with one move, currently exhibits powers far less than its true potential. Others may not know this, but the highest ranks of the Hydra snake do. Above the taping ocean, wing blades slice through the air. At the high speed of Mach 30, theoretically, no one should be able to sit on its back. However, Lin Zaiasu, Zhao Zhen, and He Zinkai sat on wing blades back, as if they were leisurely riding a carousel in the park. Only because of one reason: the basic principle of wing blade is actually not technology. It is an array that technology cannot explain. For a long time, Zhao Zhen's eyes were wide open. The worldview formed by modern physics knowledge and Qianlong's expertise was shattered by this unreasonable flight over the Pacific Ocean. The standard templates he imagined for international rescues were also shattered. What kind of template did he envision? Quietly infiltrate Yingyu country, disguise He Zinkai as another person, quietly extract him from Lang Ko Company's control zone, endure a nerve-wracking 20 hours, pass through customs, and return home. There would be countless variables in the meantime, and the probability of success would be no more than 30%. But who could have imagined Lin Zaiasu's boldness? Directly seizing the opponent's wing blade and using it as a vehicle to fly over the Pacific Ocean. At the time, when Lin Zaiasu considered the wing blade as the best strategy in his plan, Zhao Zhen was honestly stunned. He was Qianlong, and he knew Lin Zaiasu had captured a wing blade. If he put himself in the shoes of the 9-headed snake's leaders, he would conclude that if he were one of them, he would never easily let Lin Zaiasu use the wing blade again. Because the wing blade is too precious. So precious it cannot afford any loss. But Lin Zaiasu told him the wing blade would likely still be used. However, it wouldn't be the same wing blade as before. It would be modified. How would it be modified? For example, a super bomb could be installed inside the wing blade's energy cover that would detonate just by opening the energy cover, or even just by activating the energy source. If Lin Zaiasu repeated his old trick on the wing blade, it would turn into a bomb on the spot and blast them to pieces. Hearing this analysis, even someone as battle-hardened as Zhao Zhen broke out in a cold sweat. Because this move is extremely insidious. It targets the weaknesses of human nature. It focuses on common knowledge of how to confront the enemy. The method to subdue the wing blade was non-existent before Lin Zaiasu. He created a new method to extract the energy source, successfully setting a precedent. You tell me, if he encounters the wing blade next time, wouldn't he likely reuse it? If you don't use it, you risk being overpowered by the wing blade. If you use it, you fall into the trap and get blown up. There is simply no third path. What can you do? Yet Lin Zaiasu found a third path. Avoid the energy source and target its control center instead. No matter how astonishing this idea seemed. Ultimately, he succeeded. Zhao Zhen gathered all his shock and faced the equally shocked He Zinkai. Uncle He, welcome home. In the earlier stages, when they faced He Zinkai, they always referred to him as the old traitor. But now, they had changed their address to Uncle He. He Zinkai shuddered violently. You, what do you know? Even at a speed of Mach 30 underfoot, the natural array shield formed on wing blade's back made them feel no wind. And the sound was clearly audible. Zhao Zhen said, my dad knows your painstaking efforts, Uncle He. The mention of painstaking efforts made He Zinkai shed old tears. He knows, I knew. He knows, but my old partner, she didn't know. Till her death, she thought she had been wrong about this life. My children even now bear the shame of having a traitor for a father. And became depressed and passed away. My dad was heartbroken too. Your children still can't lift their heads. We can't even offer them a bit of comfort, Zhao Zhen said. This is also why we had to bring Uncle He back to the country no matter what. Now that you're back, we can finally clear your name. This is the war spy. On the espionage battlefield, although there is less bloodshed compared to the iron and blood battlefield, it is brutal and no less intense than real combat. He Zinkai's defection led to his partner's death from grief. His children lived under the shame of having a traitor for a father, struggling to survive without any comfort, because just speaking the truth risked leaks, and if it leaked, He Zinkai, far away in a foreign land, would face death. Yet all clouds eventually disperse. Zinkai's return to the country, opening the hidden gate, delivering a deadly blow to Lang Ko Company, would make him a hero of the Southern group. His children would finally be able to hold their heads high, and though his old partner couldn't return to life, he could still go to her grave and offer comfort to her spirit. Zinkai tightly grasped Zhao Zhen's hand, with tears streaming across the Pacific Ocean. 1 hour. Only half an hour. Wing Blade crossed the Pacific Ocean, landing on the coast of Yancheng. Zhao Zhen made a phone call, and a flying car had already arrived at the coast. Inside the flying car was his father, Zhao Jile, chairman of the Southern Group. Zhao Jile got out of the flying car, tightly grasping Zinkai's hand. The two of them smiled while crying and cried while embracing each other. Those accompanying them all had tears glistening in their eyes. Chapter 468. Chapter 468, Mastering the Wing Blade. Then taking the flying car back to the Southern Group, the moment Zhao Jile stepped onto the car, his gaze was cast towards the rocks by the sea, where his son Zhao Zhen was, along with his son's comrade, Lin Zaiasu. For the first time in his life, Lin Zaiasu, separated by 100 meters, saw this legendary private entrepreneur for the first time. The two did not meet directly, but their eyes met for the first time across 100 meters. Zhao Jile gave him a gentle smile and closed the car door. The flying car sped away into the sky. Zhao Zhen shifted his gaze from the flying car to Lin Zaiasu. Bro, this trip is done. It was as perfect as a textbook example, but there's one thing I still don't understand. What is it? In the large pit made by the Wing Blade, we had a conversation according to your script that blatantly defied convention, revealing the absolute secret that an dark gate is hidden in the central control of the Wing Blade. I don't quite understand whether this absolute secret is real or fake, Zhao Zhen said. We know that this villa is monitored everywhere. This script was designed solely to convey this conclusion to the opposing high-ups, yet you're unsure if this secret is real or fake. Lin Zaiasu cast a sidelong glance at him. From basic espionage knowledge, every word you said couldn't possibly be true, yet this seems to be the only possibility I can imagine, Zhao Zhen lightly scratched his head. Common sense analysis suggests that the so-called dark gate in the Wing Blade's control hub is 100% false. Otherwise, would we really need to conduct an analysis in their villa on a full stomach? Yet aside from this possibility, Zhao Zhen couldn't conceive of a second possibility. You could even say there is no second possibility at all. This is the part he couldn't understand no matter how hard he tried. Lin Zaiasu gave a faint smile. The world is a strange place. Not everything can be explained with modern logic. Zhao Zhen said, all right, this secret is no small matter. I won't pry into it. Let me directly ask the most crucial question. What do you hope to achieve through this conversation? I want the nine-headed snake headquarters to conduct a massive investigation of their advanced scientific team. Zhao Zhen nodded, and then, as long as there's an investigation, there will inevitably be traces. As long as there are traces, they will stumble onto my path, Lin Zaiasu said. Amidst the vast sea of people, give me a single thread and I can topple their world. Zhao Zhen's gaze slowly rose. The light in his eyes was boundless. In the vast sea of people, give him a single thread and he can topple their world. What kind of bold words are these? What kind of confidence is this? Yet regardless of the confidence, Zhao Zhen also believed it. Because the detective path has always been his path. He was invincible even on paths that didn't belong to him, let alone his own path. And more crucially, the entry point he chose was an open tactic. Would the people of the nine-headed snake suspect that this deliberately conveyed message is false? Of course they would. But what difference does it make? They would still investigate. Why? Because from Zhao Zhen's perspective, this is the only explanation for why the Wing Blade keeps being captured again. Zhao Zhen thinks this way, and so will the people of Nine-Headed Snake. No one can come up with a second reason, so what reason do they have not to believe in the Dark Gate theory he proposes? Thus, investigation is necessary. Whether you suspect it or not, you have to investigate. Lin Zaiasu wants exactly that, an investigation. As long as you begin the investigation, he will have the chance to grab hold of a thread among them and follow the clues to the top-level scientific team of the Nine-Headed Snake. A scientific team is any organization's most critical asset, especially for an organization like the Nine-Headed Snake. This is a direct strike at its lifeline. Bro, I truly admire you. I thought you were just cooperating with me for a cross-border rescue mission, but who would have thought that your target is the wing blade? I originally thought that recapturing the wing blade would be a great success, but who knew you also had your sights set on Luoba State? Zhao Zhen said. Now that the haze is temporarily lifted, you and I should fulfill our pre-departure wish and live it up in Yancheng. Forget about it, go live it up with your pile of mistresses, I'm going home, Lin Ziasu said. If you live it up a bit, you'll have a pile of mistresses too. My God, I've been trying my best to restrain myself. If I shake that box with a bunch of wives inside, what would happen? Lin Ziasu turned around and left. His figure vanished, and Zhao Zhen raised his hand, picking up his phone. Dad, send some money to the Fengcheng Detective Agency. How much? Just consider how much this trip is worth. Old Zhao pondered for a moment. 10 million. That's it, Zhao Zhen exclaimed. I thought you would consider 1 billion or 10 billion, and you give me 10 million. Old Zhao laughed. The amount of money isn't just about the worth of this trip, it's about what is suitable. Money, you see, is the capital of a poor man's life, but it's also a corrosive to human nature. Giving too much would harm him. You're exaggerating. I have a few small targets sitting in my account. Have I become corroded? Zhao Zhen retorted. You think you're not corroded. You've been out for just one day, and a mistress pops up holding a child claiming paternity tests. You rascal, you get back here. Write the family admonitions 100 times. Dad, what do you mean? What's happening? Why did the phone suddenly lose signal? This damn phone. Zhao Zhen raised his hand, smashed the phone against the rock, watching it shatter. As night fell, Lin Ziasu sat on the rock by the sea. The waves gently rolled, and a black stone seemed to be swept along by the waves, appearing at his feet. This was none other than the wing blade. Zhao Zhen thought the wing blade had returned to Qianlong headquarters, but actually, it was always with Lin Ziasu. Lin Ziasu didn't lie to Zhao Zhen. He said the wing blade's control center had been altered, and indeed it had been changed. However, the talk of the Dark Gate was nothing but a malicious lie. The method of alteration was 100 times more mysterious than Dark Gate's manipulation. It's 100 times more hardcore. Lin Ziasu faced the wing blade attack, struck out with one sword. This sword was not severing a motion, not Li Ren tears, but an array. At this moment, the 5 elements sword functioned as the array pen, directly stopping the internal array of the wing blade. No need to touch the energy source, directly controlling the array inside. This was the move that halted the wing blade. Next was the beginning of the astounding events. The space law was activated, and the custom-made bomb hidden in the energy room entered his inner space. The crisis was resolved. Following that, the array trembled, fully detaching the modern technology embedded in the control core of the wing blade. Smith lost track of the wing blade. Finally came the most crucial and shocking part. Lin Ziasu demonstrated the puppet path he'd newly learned from Ding's villa. He used true qi as a pen, with the 5 elements characteristics within him as ink, inscribing the puppet talisman. The wing blade was no longer an ancient divine artifact controlled by modern technology, but an ancient puppet through and through. This puppet was under his control. In the dark night, the puppet broke through the air, carrying Lin Ziasu over mountains and rivers. It was almost in an instant that the puppet submerged into the deep pool beneath Old Tashan. Under the starlight, Lin Ziasu leisurely walked across the plains, onto the road, arriving at the courtyard of the old house. The gate lightly creaked. On the second floor, Little Yi's eyes suddenly opened. In her eyes, the night seemed to part suddenly, scanning the intruder through the darkness. Little Yi smiled behind the window. Dad opened the house door and also smiled. How come you're back in the middle of the night? Just finished a case, came back along the way. Have you eaten? Mom came out of the room draping a coat. Not yet, Mom. Could you make me a bowl of noodles? Mom happily started to busy herself. If in the past, deep in the night, as long as he wasn't too hungry, Lin Ziasu would be willing to endure, to save his mother from trouble. However, as his abilities increased, as his actions became more sophisticated, he keenly noticed that his parents' attitude towards him started to change. They always felt their son was too skillful, beyond teaching, beyond helping. Gradually there was a sense of loss. Therefore, Lin Ziasu was very willing to create an opportunity for his mother, like when he was a child, to let her feel more involved. Sure enough, when the bowl of noodles was handed to him, his mother smiled happily. After dinner, he returned to the second floor. Little Yi was lying on the bed. A towel, always ready to be used as a cushion for sitting, floated beside the bed. Lin Zaiasu held an array plate, carefully examining it. There were many array plates in his secret realm space, dozens of them, all left behind by Bridge Realm array masters. This one in his hand belonged to Ear Wushan of the Long Ear clan. What was he doing with the array plate? He wanted to accomplish a very wild idea. What kind of idea? To control the puppet with the array plate. This idea called wild, because even an ancient puppet master probably couldn't imagine. How are puppets generally used? By implanting a will into the puppet to let it act according to that will. This is already quite fantastic. But Lin Zaiasu wasn't satisfied with this kind of fantasy. If he just wanted this puppet to act as a divine guard for the courtyard, implanting a will would be enough. You tightly watch this small courtyard. If anyone enters that little ye can't handle, you come out and beat them hard. However, Lin Zaiasu wanted more than just this. With the external situation changing, he needed a way to temporarily alter the puppet's settings from 1,000 miles away. This is beyond what ancient puppets could achieve. In other words, Lin Zaiasu wanted to do something unprecedented. How to do it? Puppetry technique mixed with array. Arrays can resonate. It is said that super long-distance transmission arrays can easily transport people across two worlds. That transmission array actually requires some resonance between two array platforms. Array platforms that span two worlds can resonate. Leaving one array inside the puppet, carrying another array plate, remotely controlling the puppet is theoretically possible. However, to turn theory into reality, it's easier said than done. Lin Zaiasu activated Human Tao Orchid Heart, fully organizing the circulation array left by the ancient array sect. The first night was still clouded in mist. He was not anxious. The next day, he leisurely went out and returned to the detective agency. At the detective agency, Josei went out to handle a case, leaving only Miao Rulan. As soon as Miao Rulan saw him, her face turned red instantly. She bounced up. Lin Zaiasu gathered his hands and embraced her. She glanced outside, seeing no one around, tiptoed, and offered her lips for a warm kiss. However, her hands pulled him to the computer. Come quickly, take a look at this, what's going on. Chapter 469. Chapter 469. Remotely controlling the wing blade to search for the three realms. Lin Zaiasu saw it. The money just transferred. 10 million. Transfer a Southern Group. Lin Zaiasu laughed, did a little something for the Southern Group. 10 million in one go. Miao Rulan was very excited. Our income this year is truly terrifying. A few days ago, Base 101 also made a transfer, also more than before, also 10 million. Base 101 transfer, 10 million. It truly was unprecedented. The highest reward for a Qianlong mission is 5 million. Million is the cap. This time, a one-time reward of 10 million is actually the capped reward for 2 missions. One of them was the Qianlong Purification Mission, where he rooted out 28 moles in one go, including the highest echelon infiltrators of Qianlong, deserving nothing but the cap. The other was finding an energy source solution for Wing Blade, giving Qianlong an actually operational super battle wing, also deserving the capped reward. Congratulations, you're a multimillionaire now. Lin Zaiasu picked up Miao Rulan and spun around. Miao Rulan lay on him giggling. It's all yours, I'm just keeping it for you. When you get married, I'll give it all to you. What if I marry you? I wouldn't dare. I'm afraid little Yi will swing her little fists and beat me up. Of course, this was a joke. In the following time, Lin Zaiasu seemed to be making an effort to be a qualified scumbag, shuttling between the county and his hometown, showering both Miao Rulan and little Yi with attentions. However, what no one knew was that Miao Rulan's attentions were genuine while little Yi's were just an excuse. Lin Zaiasu was only experimenting with his array. 10 days, 20 days, more than 20 days. The 13th of the 8th lunar month, the 24th of September on the solar calendar. Near mid-autumn. The night was almost a full moon. Lin Zaiasu sat on the second floor of his old family house. In his hand was an array plate. The array plate slowly lit up, seemingly reflecting a stretch of sea. At the same time, in the deep pool of Old Tashan, Wing Blade's eyes suddenly opened. In the next instant, Wing Blade shot skyward, heading northwest. On Lin Zaiasu's array plate appeared the vast night sky, and vast earth seen through Wing Blade's eyes. Lin Zaiasu pointed a finger to the left. Wing Blade tilted its wings in that direction, skimming over a mountain peak. Wing Blade's speed slowed down, and the array plate displayed the northwestern mountains and rivers. He used Wing Blade as his eyes to observe the endless northwest landscape. This meant one thing. That is, his grand plan of using the array to control Wing Blade was, after nearly a month of exploration, finally successful. His knowledge of the array path, after this extreme challenge, had also greatly increased. The sixth heavenly star tier within him had also dripped. Currently, the seventh was on the verge of dripping. All signs indicated that his long period of rest wasn't really rest, but recharging. Moreover, Wing Blade's reconnaissance of the northwest also had two objectives, the first being a test. The test's effect was near perfect, remotely controlling Wing Blade as skillfully as moving one's fingers. He had truly taken an unprecedented step, though this was just on the foundation of his current knowledge, as the ancient's world was vast, and he had no idea if there were ancient heavenly prides who flawlessly combined puppetry technique and the array path. He had a second objective. This objective was to search for the three realms. The three realms, extremely mysterious, existed only in legend. Even Qianlong Head didn't know where the three realms were. However, Lin Zaiasu wanted to try and find them. In the past, attempting to find the three realms via the geographical features created by the array on top of the 33 towers would typically involve computer searches, searching various images for geographical feature comparisons. That method was very uncontrollable, relying a lot on luck and coincidence. But now, Lin Zaiasu had a new method. That is to use Wing Blade, using it as the eyes, to survey from high above, looking for that grassland, that river, that snow mountain, that Taoist temple. Throughout the night, he focused intensely. Once the landscapes below entered his view, they were compared with the picture in his memory. This search lasted a day and 2 nights. Finally, on the night before the Mid-Autumn Festival, Lin Zaiasu's eyes lit up. He found the area, southwest of Kunlun Mountain. The river was named the Tadao River. The mountain was Duan Liang Snow Mountain. The grassland was a part of the southern border grassland. However, there was no Taoist temple on the snow mountain. It wasn't that the Taoist temple was incomplete, it was completely absent. Wing Blade flew over the deserted snow mountain 7 times, checking from all directions, nothing. Lin Zaiasu frowned slightly and flicked his finger gently. Wing Blade quickly returned. Half an hour later, Wing Blade returned to the deep pool, took a few crystal stones from the pool's bottom, and filled its energy cabin. These 5 elements array formation crystal stones were the energy Lin Zaiasu prepared for it. After evolving into a puppet, Wing Blade could recharge its energy source itself. Alright, the matters he wanted to accomplish were mostly taken care of. The remote control issue was resolved. The place he wanted to find was found. But why wasn't there a Taoist temple of the three realms? Was it destroyed over time? Or were there more secrets? Perhaps it required an on-site visit to check. But that wasn't a matter for now. The three realms were legendary existences. They should only be disturbed when civilization ends. Lin Zaiasu put away the array plate. His gaze shifted to the bed. On the bed, little Yi was really bold in this summer, with her snow-white thighs and flawless figure giving quite the thrill. The towel hanging by the bedside, in particular, constantly reminded him to savor it. Lin Zaiasu took a deep breath, blocking out the sensation, and sat cross-legged. With that sit, he began the process of discarding, merging, and ascending the 7th heavenly star tier. At dawn, Lin Zaiasu stood up, left the room, and his cultivation had reached 7 stars shining in the sky, getting so close to observing Heaven Realm's 9 stars breaking the sky, really so close. He was going out again. This time he was going for a date. Mid-Autumn Festival. Chang Yi's birthday. In the past, he didn't even know her birthday, and even if he knew, he couldn't go to base 101, but now he could. Because he had level 3 authority. He issued a command through Dragon Eye, and an hour later, a flying car landed on the roof of the detective agency. Lin Zaiasu boarded the flying car. There was no one on the flying car. Lin Zaiasu inputted a command, and the flying car took off, heading to a place he had been before. The very same base 101, where Chang Yi brought him the first time he set foot. A year and a half had passed. The big island seemed unchanged. Buildings rich in modernity. A peak in the midst of noise and tranquility. However, Lin's mindset had changed significantly. Back then he was a rookie. Today he could compete with the topmost heavenly king. Back then he obtained reserve status on this island. Today, with level 3 authority, he was almost equivalent to the heavenly king. Saying almost, because he ultimately wasn't in the Qianlong establishment. His level 3 authority ultimately wasn't completely equivalent to heavenly king's authority, at least some core things he couldn't touch, such as Qianlong gold medal's current tasks. However, on this island, he was already detached. With level 3 authority, the whole island was accessible without obstruction. Lin Zaiasu didn't head to the sensitive areas, walking up along a stone path. This path led to the mountaintop. The mountaintop was the island's monitoring center, while halfway up the mountain, there was a big garden. The garden was full of exotic plants, and there was a swing. Sitting on the swing at the moment was one person. Chang Yi. Today's her seemed a bit different from usual. Her cheeks were red, and her mood swayed like the waves of the South Sea beneath the island. Because a few days ago, Blue Demon came by and brought her something and also delivered a message. Today, Mid-Autumn Festival, he would come. It was that thing, and that message, that made Chang Yi feel like a passionate and ardent young girl awaiting her lover's appointment, unable to suppress the stirring within her. The small garden gate gently pushed open, and the person she had been waiting for 2 days entered her garden. The swing under Chang Yi suddenly steadied. Lin Zaiasu walked to the front of the swing. His hand lightly reached out and grasped Chang Yi's hand. "I heard it's your birthday today." "Did Blue Demon tell you?" Chang Yi said softly. "Yes," Lin Zaiasu said. "I know you don't actually like cakes or gold and silver jewelry, so I could only bring myself over to accompany you on the swing." Chang Yi chuckled, got up and poured him a cup of tea, and they both sat on the swing together. The swing swayed gently, and her body also subtly leaned into his embrace. The sky was dotted with wandering white clouds. The blue sea beneath was also wandering. Her thoughts were also wandering. "That day I didn't wait for you to wake up at headquarters," Chang Yi said. "I know a traitor was discovered on the island, and you hurried overnight to eliminate the traitor," Lin Zaiasu said. "I heard you ascended the 33 towers." "Yes. I really didn't expect the person who walked out from here could have grown so quickly to such heights." Chang Yi tilted her head. "Do you admire my sharp eyes in recognizing pearls?" "I admire myself," Lin Zaiasu said. "How many people in the world dare to get their female instructor into bed?" Chang Yi cast him a sideways glance. "You're bringing this up again. Xinyu calls you little fierce." "Where's Xinyu?" Lin Zaiasu looked around, indeed not seeing Xinyu. Chang Yi smiled lightly. "She knew you'd come, so she hid." "Not really. She's still afraid of me," Lin Zaiasu said. "I think I'm topping her little list of grudges again." Chang Yi laughed like a blooming flower. "No worries, her little list changes more often than the island's weather. One moment you're at the top, the next a tiny outburst, and you might slip off the list." The two got more relaxed as they chatted. After lunch they wandered around the garden, and after wandering enough, they returned to the swing. The sun set in the west, and the mid-autumn night approached. They drank a little wine and enjoyed a delicious meal, and then entered Chang Yi's room. The room lights were pink. The sheets reflected the pink light as well. Lin Zaiasu seemed to have to admit, the pink really was somewhat stimulating, which made his hand roam over her several times, and the two once again approached the edge of something steaming. "How about I go outside and swing?" Lin Zaiasu intended to retreat. Chang Yi's hand reached out and grabbed him. Her eyes at this moment carried a swirl. "If we go on, you won't be able to hold back," Lin Zaiasu said. "If I can't hold back, then I won't." Chang Yi gently breathed out fragrant air. "Huh?" Lin Zaiasu was surprised. "Open the bedside drawer." Chang Yi's cheek turned 3 shades redder. Lin Zaiasu opened the bedside drawer. His eyes widened immediately. Inside there were 3 condoms. These are nanotechnology 4th generation condoms. Qianlong's latest high-tech being used here. Is it really okay? Lin Zaiasu was in disbelief. "Technology serves people." Chang Yi didn't finish her sentence, too shy to continue as she hid under the covers. Sounds came from outside, the sound of clothes being taken off followed by the sheet being lifted. Chang Yi's voice came, "Still be gentle, take it easy." Lin Ziasu fully understood. Condoms are just condoms, not offering that much protection. Normally enjoying it with small streams going long is great, but truly can't get too excited. That night Chang Yi was so happy she forgot everything. That night all 3 condoms were used. The next morning, Chang Yi got up first, and the first thing she did was clean up the condoms, washing them with special liquid, planning to use them again at night.